Welcome to the A-League Match of the Day here on Coast FM 963. And we're streaming on coastfm.org.au. Now, here's the most experienced A-League commentary team on radio.
Now Bowes is running. He's got a beat in the centre. Across the nation to the ball.
Trent Dickinson. Michael Kmet.
Do we dare to dream? 30 minutes gone already too old in this game. Who knows?
And Byrne.
Summed it up perfectly. He's looked a little bit unsettled over the last few weeks, and he's copped up one there, but well taken.
Thanks to our sponsors, Rain and Horn Gosford, Fruit for All at Berkeley Vale, Imperial Centre Gosford, and Blue Tongue Central Coast Stadium.
Good afternoon and welcome to the A-League Grand Final of Season 8, live and local here on Coast FM 963. This is the fourth time for the Central Coast Mariners on the final day of the season, but this time they play another team from New South Wales who hasn't been here before. It's the Western Sydney Wanderers and the Central Coast Mariners doing battle, and one team in the next couple of hours will claim their first championship. What a beautiful day here it is in Sydney, a maximum of 24 degrees, not a cloud in the sky over the Sydney Football Stadium. We're ready for a great game of football. Joining me for the pre-game show here on Coast FM 963 is Coast FM's Chief Football Analyst. It's a very good afternoon to Michael Kmet. Michael, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Luke. Good afternoon, listeners. Yes, 8 A-League Grand Finals the Mariners have been in 4, and we're bringing the action here live and local on Coast FM for our 4th Grand Final as well. Atmosphere already is electric out there. It's going to be a special day for football in Australia, something that many people here will remember for many years to come.
Michael, for the Central Coast Mariners, like you said, they're in their 4th Grand Final, but no Mariners player remains from that first day against Sydney FC.
No, absolutely right. John Hutchinson was in that squad in the first season, but he was injured at the end of the season. Remember a few weeks before that at the Sydney Football Stadium where he did his knee. And Adam Kwasnik, the other remaining member of that squad, he's not in the squad today. Interesting enough, though, you look at the other side of the coin with Western Sydney, and it's Michael Beauchamp. He was with the Mariners that day. He was pretty much best on ground. I thought he probably should have won the Joe Master medal ahead of Dwight York, but so be it. And now he's lining up as captain of the Western Sydney Wanderers.
You get the feeling, though, for this one, Michael, the Mariners go in the underdogs, but they're quietly confident. You haven't seen this air of confidence with the Mariners going to a grand final. Season 1, they weren't expected to win. Season 3, they probably just got outdone in the end by the better team. Season 5, they lost the unlosable game, and here tonight, season 6, and here tonight, they look primed, they look ready.
Yeah, primed, I think, is the right word for it, Luke. There's an air of confidence about them. They're seasoned professional now, a good blend of youth players and seasoned veterans who have been there, done that. They have looked very composed all week, and if you start looking at the little facts about this grand final, and we'll go through those little facts in the moment when we're analysing the two teams, I think while Wanderers are favourites with the Premiers, all the odds are stacking in the Mariners the way the chips are lining up at the moment.
A very special thanks must go to Ken Greaves for the last couple of hours here on Coast FM 963. Ken will be back next Sunday afternoon to do it all again, so make sure you listen out for Ken. But for this one, don't forget, wherever you're listening around the world, send us an email, football@coastfm.org.au. That's football@coastfm.org.au, with thanks to OnQ Communications. That's onq.net.au. Michael, we'd love to hear where people are listening from.
Yeah, absolutely, around the world. We'll let you know later on where you're listening from. I just have to have a little bit of a laugh at the moment, Luke. I'm looking over at the ground, and there's 7 of the 8 A-League mascots minus Wellington. They're ready to race.
Western Sydney's not there either.
Western Sydney's not there. They're ready to race in a race-off, and good to see. I think my money's on Hayden Fox over there to win from Melbourne Heart.
He's looking good, Hayden Fox, isn't he?
Absolutely. They picked a mascot that's a splitting image of the assistant coach for Melbourne Heart. Quite funny. And Marvin the Mariner, I think the bulk he has on the bottom carrying at the moment, I think he'll certainly struggle.
He's 100 to 1. Marvin the Mariner, also Red the Kangaroo, he'll be struggling as well. But, Michael, this game is so important to the region of the Central Coast. It's probably do or die here for the Mariners. It could be the end of an era with lots of players moving on. Speculation, the coach will move on. So tonight, there's a lot of pressure going into this one.
A lot of pressure indeed with this one, but I think more the pressure's on Western Sydney. They're the ones who've been feeling it all week. You talk about the legacy that Graham Arnold will leave. Well, that's yet to be seen. I think he'll stick around for one more year, but you do get that feeling players will be moving on. Other players will be a little bit older. The way the Mariners are shaped up, they're unbeaten now in 4 games of the A-League, 5 games in the A-League. They're going for their own A-League record in that respect, and they're just getting stronger and stronger, the Mariners, in this little period, and they look prime, they look seasoned, they look at their fittest.
I was lucky enough to catch up with John Hutchinson earlier to talk about this grand final and the lead-in.
John Hutchinson here. John, obviously your third grand final, fourth for the club. How do you feel about this lead-up's been for the Central Coast Mariners?
Yeah, it's been good. The lead-up's been positive. You know, the boys are been training really well, look good, excited about the grand final, and you know, we just can't really wait for the game to get here, and hopefully at the end of it we've got ourselves a trophy.
A dominant performance against Melbourne Victory last weekend. The Central Coast Mariners moved the ball around. That's the way the Mariners need to play against the Wanderers today?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's that's our game now. You know, we don't look for channels. We try to play out of the back. Arnie's instilled that into us in the last 3 years, and you know, I think it's got to a point now where we're pretty comfortable playing out of the back. We've got some good people on the ball that can play, and you know, we were dominant against Melbourne Victory, but we still offered them a chance to get back in the game at times, and hopefully we can be a bit more dominant in the scoreboard as well.
Monty misses through suspension. Ollie Bazanic comes in.
Yeah, it looks that way. It's you know, poor Monty. You know, everyone feels for him. It's a tough situation for a guy that's his first red card in his career. You know, he's been a wonderful addition to the club and to the squad, and you know, the whole team does feel for Monty. But you know, just give someone else a chance to come into our well-structured team, and hopefully they can continue where Monty left off.
Do you get the sense this is the end of an era if the Mariners win this one, because there's a lot of players looking to go overseas, a lot of players at the end of their career?
Yeah, look, it can be like that, you know, but for me it's just exciting to see the young boys coming through. You know, if they do decide to leave, then they leave and the next batch steps up, you know. It's our 4th grand final, and it's not luck that we keep getting here. It's a few true, you know, players pushing each other, working hard, the young ones coming through and buying into the Mariners culture. And, you know, we're going to have some players leave and maybe a couple retire or whatever happens, but, you know, we just look forward to these players coming through and showing us what they can do.
Good luck against the Wanderers today.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
John Hutchinson there for the Central Coast Mariners, captain in his first A-League Grand Final this afternoon. Joining me on the sideline here on a beautiful day in Sydney is Adriano Pellegrino from the Central Coast Mariners. Adriano, beautiful day for a Grand Final.
Yeah, great day. The rain's cleared up from yesterday, so the pitch was a bit underwater yesterday when we got down. So we trained across the road, but top day for football, and ready to bring that premiership back to the coast.
Preparations for this one, how's it been through the week?
Yeah, it's been good. We've had our usual routine, a couple of days off leading up to the game, but no, it's been good. We've trained really well, and we had some really good sessions leading into the game, so all the boys are ready to go and we're fired up.
Adriano, what's been the theme of the week for the players, and how have they tackled the preparation?
I think just concentrating on what we have to do, and just concentrating on what the job is ahead. So, I mean, we haven't been worrying about them too much. We know what their weeks are and what their strengths are, and what we've been concentrating on is our game plan and sticking to what we know best, and that's playing a nice brand of football that the Mariners play.
Against the Melbourne Victory, you certainly did play that brand of football. Lots of ball movement. That's probably the key tonight against the Wanderers, who like to play a lot of long ball stuff.
They do. We've touched on that during the week. They like to put their foot through the ball and put teams under pressure, and it's worked for them. They've done really well. You've got to give them respect where respect's due, and they've done really well this season in what they do. So it's going to be a tough game, very tactical session. Both sides, but I think our football playing out from the back and getting the ball into Hutch and Ollie in midfield will get on top of them.
Have you spoken about the last time you played the Western Sydney Wanderers? You lost 1-0 at home. Controversial circumstances in the end. The Mariners conceded a late goal, but really dominated that one.
Yeah, we watched some highlights and stuff and spoken about it, but haven't really really focused on it too much. The main concern has been working on what we know is best, and watching their long balls. They work hard, and they've got Crescinger and those boys up front, so they're going to be without Hersey today. I think it's going to be a big loss for them, but at the same time, I think it's evened up with us losing Montgomery. But Oli Bozanic is going to step in and do a great job for us.
Adriana, you boys have had plenty of football over the last couple of months or so. Does it feel like that the players are really primed for this one? They're really battle-hardened with all the football they had in comparison to Western Sydney, only one game in the last 22 days.
Yeah, the timing of the situation's looking good for us. I know West Sydney are a bit starved of football, as people have been saying. I think that's not really going to concern them too much. But at the same time, I think what's going to make us even hungrier is not winning that minor premiership, and the boys are looking sharp, and with the rotation policy Arnie's put in as well for the Champions League games and stuff like that, some boys have been rested, so there's no excuses, and everyone's in great shape for the game today.
Tactically against the Western Sydney Wanderers, you'll keep your 4-2-3-1. Michael McGlinchey for mine's going to be a key player. He's going to push up on Jerome Pollens. Now we know Pollens has been carrying an injury. Do you think that's the battle? The Mariners win that, they could win the game?
Yeah, Jeremy, we spoke about that also during the week. We've got Byrne and Mikey who've been operating really well, and we've got to get the ball into them early. I think that's what's key tonight or this afternoon, is get the ball in early to them and let them weave their magic. Yes, Pollens is on a bit of an injury cloud, so we've got to test him early, get on his back foot and run at him and work hard, and we'll go from there. But, Jeremy, we're going to expect a big game as well from Daniel McBreen, and I think it's a big occasion today, and I think it's a big player step up on big occasion, so I'm expecting a lot from Mr. Sturjowski.
We know Western Sydney are a very disciplined side, a very structured side, strong defensively. Where do you see a weakness, if there's any, in this Western Sydney outfit?
I think if we put them under pressure high up the pitch like we do and win the ball high up, and they turn it up higher up, we can get a lot of joy out of that. I mean, we know when we put them under pressure, they sort of turn and knock the ball long and start to win that second fight. We don't want them winning that second ball in the midfield. We want to win the second ball in midfield and put them under pressure higher up the pitch. I think that's going to work a world of wonders for us today.
Shinji Ono is obviously the key player for the Western Sydney Wanderers, now missing Yusuf Hersey, who got sent off against the Brisbane Roar. He likes to pull into little wide areas and get the ball and then create. Is that a big key for one of the defensive midfielders to continue to go with him?
Yeah, that's a massive key. I mean, we know how Shinji operates. He's a world-class player. He's scored some world-class goals this season, so we've got to get on top of him today as well. And he does. He likes to drift in the back of sort of our midfielders of Hutch and Ollie, so we've worked on him during the week as well and sort of eliminate him picking up that second ball that they knock long to Crescinger and those sort of players. So, yes, I think if we cut him out, that's 50% of the workload covered.
Now, Matty Ryan, obviously this game could go to penalties at the end of the day. He hasn't had the best record of saving penalties, and Ante Kovic has saved 4 penalties from 4 attempts this season. Matt Ryan, do you have the confidence in him to save penalties at the crucial stage of the season?
Yeah, Matty's to me, he's the best goalkeeper I've ever operated with in domestic football. He's a class above, and yeah, he's been practicing during the week, and he's reading of the game and of situations like that as well. But at the end of the day, you can't really make a strong comment about penalties. It is one or the other, so I guess the keeper picks his own way. But Kovic does have a good record, but I think in these sort of scenarios, records like that go out of the window in a grand final. There's pressure, there's, high expectations, so it's whoever steps up on the day. Either goalie could step up and make 2 or 3 great saves that wins them the game. So cross our fingers, it's Matty Ryan tonight.
Adriana, you've been with the squad all week, you've been training and part of it. Is there one player that has really impressed you during the week and you're thinking, wow, he's going to be one player that's going to step up today and really control this A-League Grand Final?
I can't really sort of single out any of them. Probably the 2 I think is going to have an impact tonight. I think Daniel McBreen's been sort of a key player in our team this season, and he scored some great goals and a lot of goals for us. So I think if he's on his game and Byrne's on his game, Byrne's trained really well this week and he's looking nice and fresh. So personally, I think if those 2 are on their game, then we'll do really well. But we've got a lot of very good quality players. Mikey, the boys in going attacking Sturge, and even Rosie and Pedge overlapping from behind. Hutch and Ollie, I can name them all. I don't want to name them all because then we're going to be here all day. But there's a lot of pressure on West Sydney. A lot of pressure on them.
Having a look at the stadium as well, talking about that pressure, you're looking around, it's red and black, which is quite surprisingly seen. So the Mariners should have got around half the same allocation as the Western Sydney Wanderers, and you're seeing Wanderers fans in the Yellow Army section as well. What big advantage does the crowd play here tonight?
I think at the end of the day, advantage does play. Crowd does have an advantage. I mean, we've played at their stadium a couple of times now. Their supporters have come down to our stadium. But at the end of the day, I mean, the more the merrier. Yeah, at the end of the day, we play to win, and that's a main focus. And I don't think the boys sort of are on the pitch as a player. You don't really turn around and look, oh, gee, there's that many Wanderers supporters and there's less of our supporters. I mean, it's going to be just as loud. And I'm looking up now, and there's a big turnout from the Mariners supporters, which is excellent. And, I think it's going to play a part. The Western Sydney supporters have showed all year that they're very loud and vocal, and got to give them respect where respect's due. They've had a great fan support this season, but at the end of the day, the boys are out there to do the job and win the grand final, and that's what we're going to do today.
Adriano, you've walked the pitch as well earlier today. Just tell us about the pitch. It looks a little bit heavy.
Yeah, the pitch is a bit heavy. They had a rugby game on it the other night and a big downpour yesterday on it, so that's why we didn't get to train on it. So it is looking a little bit heavy, and the grass is a little bit thicker, but at the end of the day, we've played on these surfaces before, and the boys might have to put some 6 studs on or a bit of longer studs to accommodate for it, but the pitch is looking great condition, and on a grand final, it doesn't really matter, I don't think.
All right, for you, the Mariners are going to win. How many goals are they going to win by, and who will be the Joe Marsden medalist?
I think today it will be 2-0 to the Mariners, and Joe Marsden medal will go to either Miles Sturjowski or Daniel McBreen.
Adriano Pellegrino, thanks for joining us here on Coast FM 963. Good luck through the week. You're heading to Korea tomorrow for Champions League. We'll be calling that game on Tuesday night. Can't wait for that. And good luck to the Mariners tonight. Thank you for your help throughout the season. Look forward to seeing you again.
Excellent, guys. Much appreciated, and go Mariners.
Adriano Pellegrino here on Coast FM 963. We'll take a short break here from the Sydney Football Stadium, and we will be back to preview all the action between the Mariners and the Wanderers here on Coast FM 963.
Blue Stadium is proud to sponsor the Mariners live call on Coast FM. Join Blue Stadium on Facebook to find out what's happening, including all their upcoming events and latest news. Check out their website at www.bluetonguestadium.com.au. Blue Stadium is a proud sponsor of the Mariners live football call on Coast FM.
At half-time, when the Mariners chomp into a big, juicy piece of fruit, it's been supplied by Fruit for All. From day one, they've been supplying the Mariners with only the best variety and quality. And it's the same when you shop at Fruit for All in Tumby Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. Nick, Tony and Angelo pride themselves on supplying the freshest and finest fruit and veggies, whether it's to restaurants and caterers or to you. Open from 7 every morning, Fruit for All, Tumby Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. They love their football, but best of all, they love their fruit.
A station sponsor.
When you've been in real estate for over 40 years, you make a lot of contacts, and that's how it is with Rain and Horn Gosford. Every day they're working to find the right buyer for your property. And with a wealth of experience and local knowledge, you're in good hands. Rain and Horn Gosford is family owned by Jeff and Sue Tilden, proud of their many industry awards for customer care. Buying, selling, renting. Call Rain and Horn Real Estate in the centre of Gosford, 4324 7744.
Station sponsor.
As the Gosford City Town Crier, I've spent a lot of time at the Imperial Centre, and in a way, as I look around, it reminds me of being at home. It's just big enough to be comfortable, but not so huge that you get frustrated. It's a friendly place. You see familiar faces, people smile and talk, and everyone's just being themselves, doing their everyday thing, getting what they need quickly and easily. The Imperial Centre Gosford. Comfortable, easy, just like home.
The Imperial Shopping Centre. A station sponsor.
Welcome back here to the Sydney Football Stadium. Grand final day, Season 8 of the A-League. The Western Sydney Wanderers and the Central Coast Mariners not too far away from kickoff. Michael Kmet, during the week, Graham Arnold's position at the Central Coast Mariners came under question with reports that Sheffield United over there in England, the Central Coast Mariners' sister club, are looking at acquiring his services.
Yeah, well, that'd be an incredible coup if that's the case. They've already picked up the quality in Tony Walmsley, the National Youth League coach, the guy who's, I think, is responsible for bringing all these young players through, most responsible for the Mariners' bottom line in terms of selling the players. And look, Graham Arnold stated that his ambition is to go overseas, whether that's sooner or later. He still has a year on his contract. Mariners may well release him for that contract if he wants to go. Just places even more importance on today's grand final. You talk about the legacy. You talk about, it's now or never for the Mariners. It's certainly not now or never, but it just feels like that all the cards are stacking in the right place for the Central Coast Mariners, and they might not have that privilege in the next decade or so. What he's brought the club, absolutely phenomenal, building on the culture and the team aspect that Laurie McKenna has brought to the club. But he's also advanced on that in terms of his tactical nous, in terms of his man management as well, and in terms of scouting players. He's certainly a phenomenal coach. He had his knockers when he first came to the Mariners because of his time with the Australian national team. Wasn't a very liked character, but he's certainly now in the hearts and the minds of all Central Coast Mariners supporters.
If he does go, and this is a big if, do you think his assistant's ready to take over the head coaching job?
I think without a doubt Phil Moss is ready to take over if that's the way they go. I think he'll be the natural choice. I think he's seen the success and he's learnt a lot under Phil Moss, and and that probably brings the opportunity then to perhaps bring Patrick Zwanzwijk in as assistant coach then as well. If he could stay in the club, I think he's an important factor. Graham Arnold's a striker. Phil Moss was a midfielder in his day, and really the club has relied a lot on Patrick Zwanzwijk to develop the next generation of defenders coming through, and we've seen that with Trent Sainsbury and Zachary Anderson. What a valuable asset he has from a defensive coach point of view as well. So I think Phil Moss is ready. Phil Moss doesn't want to say too much. I know he's already applied for the Wellington job as well, so I think he's feeling like it's time for him to step up as well. And I don't think there'd be a better choice than Phil Moss, given the Mariners' budget constraints as well.
Talking about the Central Coast Mariners head coach Graham Arnold, yesterday at the press conference, he's firstly started by talking about the Mariners season.
Look, I think when you build a team at the start of the year, they become very good mates during the season, and you go through a lot of highs and lows together during that season, and again, it builds a real strong mateship, and we know what the performance is about tomorrow. We know how big the game is, and I want to take the opportunity here to say, what a great job Western and Sydney have done. The supporters have pretty much shown the way for the rest of the A-League. They've challenged all the other supporters in the A-League to come in force to the grounds, and even at the Mariners where they meet at the boat ramp and they march up to the games now, and that was created by West Sydney Wanderers, and we're just looking forward to a wonderful spectacle tomorrow for Australian football. And I've been part of the the good days and the bad days. I have to say I never thought that in my lifetime I'd see this type of response to football in Australia that is now the A-League, and it's gone from strength to strength over the 8 years, and the other codes do have are definitely looking over their shoulder now, especially when you consider last night the Waratahs played here with 12,000 people, and we've got a game tomorrow night with 45,000 people, so it shows you how far the game has come.
And then Graham Arnold spoke about his relationship with the Western Sydney Wanderers coach, Tony Popovich.
Look, we've had a great friendship for a long, long time, Phil, and it goes back to Sydney, Croatia, when he was a kid at 14 years of age and was coming to training with the first team. He debuted with myself as a player under Ronnie Corrie when he was 16 at Sydney, Croatia, and you always knew that he was going to have leadership qualities and was always going to be successful in whatever he did. The fact that our courses and paths have gone down the same way, it's great to see. I'm 9-10 years old then, but give him time, he'll be as grey as me. But I'm very happy for him and what he's done this year. And when West Sydney Wanderers started up this year, and I think Tony had a choice of Sydney FC as well as West Sydney, and he chose, probably in a lot of people's eyes, the harder pathway to take with the new club. I knew they were getting the right person because he's a winner, and I worked with him at the national team level, and he's always a leader on the field, a great pro, and it's no surprise to me what he's done at West Sydney.
Finally, Graham Arnold spoke about the Western Sydney Wanderers this season and their performance in their inaugural season.
At the start of the year, I think people were talking. I went and watched them play against Bankstown in their last friendly before the competition started, And I know that there was people out there that probably thinking that they were going to struggle. And Tony repeatedly said they just want to be competitive all year. But when you've got the likes of Nikolai Topor-Stanley, Michael Beesham, who played, in my view, one of his best games ever at the World Cup in 2010 against Serbia, and you're talking only a couple of years later, having that calibre of player in the West Sydney Wanderers team. They had experienced players, Mark Bridge, Tarek Elrich, Putzo, guys who had won championships before. So they built a strong foundation with Australian guys. So they're a wonderful team, and they thoroughly deserved the premiership plate. To go, as I said, to go 13 out of 14 or 12 out of 13 games or whatever it was, unbeaten, to get over the line and beat us by 3 points. It was a fantastic achievement by them. But again, you've got to look at the whole club, the whole thing that they've done. We are the smallest club in the country. There's no doubt about that. And but I think they're quickly becoming the biggest club, very quickly. With the crowd support that they've got and the way that the momentum that they've built and the supporter base that they've got.
And that was Graham Arnold yesterday at the press conference getting ready for the grand finals. The crowd is building here at the Sydney Football Stadium as an official sellout. But just having a look, there's still a few members' seats that haven't been taken on the western side here at the top of the Sydney Football Stadium. But everywhere else, it's a sea of red and black around three sides of the Sydney Football Stadium. And then at the southern end of the Sydney Football Stadium is all in yellow and navy. Joining me on the sideline to preview this one is Central Coast Mariners defender Brent Griffiths. What an atmosphere, what a game we got here tonight.
Yeah, it's great to see everyone, all the fans coming along. Everyone's wearing their colours. It's a great spectacle against the top two teams in the league, so hopefully it's a good game.
Obviously, for the Mariners going through the week, they've been there before. Graham Arnold had them 2 years ago in the grand final. How has the preparation been for this one?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, that was 2 years ago, and things have changed. Our formation has changed, but in terms of the way we've prepared for the game, nothing's changed. It's just another week for us. It's another game. We've done what we've done all season, and we're just going to go out there and do it again today, and hopefully we just come out with the result at the end.
How have you found the fanfare on the Central Coast? Obviously, a lot of people are getting behind the Mariners for this one.
Yeah. It's been quite exciting. A lot of Mariners fans have sort of come up to us that we didn't really know that we were fans, so it's good that we've got that sort of community down up there, and everyone's really excited. All the shop fronts have been decorated, and it's really good to see that they've come all the way down here, down the F3 to come support us today. And yeah, it's just a general buzz, and everyone's ready for the finals, and hopefully we can take it back, take the trophy back up.
Brent, there's a number of players who are now in the Mariners squad experienced in grand final football. How have they approached the week, and what sort of advice have they given to the younger players in the squad?
Yeah, I think it's about 10, 11 players that have sort of been involved in the finals football, and like we say, they are experienced, but there is also a couple of younger boys like Matty Ryan and Byrne that have been involved in it as well. And it's just sort of in terms of saying anything, it's not really that much. It's just a feeling. It's almost a confidence that you can feel when we're in training that, we've been here before, we know what we need to do, we know our formation, we know our tactics, and let's just go out there and just treat it as another game. So, yeah.
Obviously, for the Central Coast Mariners, again, John Hutchinson comes in as captain for the first time. How's his role been during the week, and how have you noticed the change from him from past weeks?
Yeah, I think obviously for players like Hutch and Pedgie that have been here since the beginning, I guess it does mean a little bit more for them. And Hutch as a captain, he's brilliant. He's better than some that you'll see around. He's sort of taken the lads to a side and had quiet words, and seeing how they're feeling and seeing how they are at home, and just the little 10%ers that make a difference in the end, and just making sure that everyone's sort of settled, everyone's right, everyone's feeling well, and just ready for the game, really. And that's just what you really want from someone like Hutch, who's been there and done that, and just getting us ready for the game today.
Talking to your media officer yesterday, he said when you're on the bus, usually it's a lot of noise. He said it was very quiet, even stone quiet. Is that because the players are just so prepared, ready for this one?
Yeah, I guess, in one way, one fact we say that nothing's changed, but I guess in the end of the day, it's an A-League Grand Final with, almost a sellout crowd, so it's hard not to say that, it's just another game. It is a big game, but, secretly everyone knows their jobs. That's why it may have been quieter than other buses. But you've seen everything's the same. Daniel McBreen's been joking around in the dressing room before on TV, and everyone's cracking their jokes, and everyone's just treating it as it is another game and just getting ready, focused for the game. So that's why it was maybe a little bit quieter than usual.
Brent, what has been that focus all week tactically, and what has been the aspects that Graham Arnold has worked on in the lead up to this grand final?
Yeah, well, obviously Arnie's his main philosophy is our defence, and that's as a team, starting from the strikers to Matty Ryan at the back, and we had a full session on Friday and Thursday just pure tactics, pure shape, making sure that we're recovering well, and our transition from attack to defence is really our vital key point. So we obviously went through that and obviously a bit more attacking wise, but as long as we get our shape right and we can sort of be ready for anything that they come at us, whether it's from set pieces or in general play, then I think we'll be ready for them, and that was sort of Arnie's main points during the week.
Were you surprised that the three injured players, or the players who had doubts for the Wanderers, have actually come up fit? Pollens, Moy, and also, I'm just forgetting the third one. Michael, can you help me out there? There was a third one.
I'm not sure about that one.
Might have been two.
You said Polyak, didn't you?
Pollens, Moy, there was another one, but we'll go through it. Oh, sorry, Putso didn't come up. Obviously, did you prepare for those players to play?
We have sort of prepared for everything, really. Arnie's very meticulous in what he does. But in all honesty, I am quite surprised. I mean, I think it was Pollens played, maybe 25, 30 minutes last week. So I'm quite surprised to see him coming out and sort of warming up. I thought Tarek Elrich would have been starting there. That's what we thought during the week. Moy, again, his knee is a bit 50-50 from what I gather. So I am, again, surprised to see whether he'll start. I still don't know. You guys might know.
Yeah, he's starting.
He is starting. So that's I don't want to say, but that's definitely one of the things the boys are going to be sort of trying to test him out early and see how his knee is holding up. Maybe that might be Macca's job. I'm not sure. So it is quite surprising, but obviously they have much faith in them, know that they are fit enough and ready to play, so otherwise they wouldn't have started them.
Do you see that chink in the Western Sydney armour when the Mariners, there have been plenty of games under the belt, everyone's fit and ready, and Western Sydney, I said the same thing to Adriano, one game in 22 days and a few injury clouds over the players. It's certainly there for the taking, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it all sort of adds up. I think one game in 22 days is not really key. It's not ideal for what a footballer wants. We're very much creatures of habit. So we'd like to play games. We like to stay fit, and I think pretty much all of our players are fit and sort of played games within a week or so. So everyone's feeling quite fit here. Doesn't sort of sound like that in their camp, but at the end of the day, it's finals football. It is a grand final, and literally anything can happen. We've seen that in the past with the Brisbane game a couple of years ago, so let's just see what happens.
Talking about the Brisbane game, your brother Roston played in that one. Where will he be watching the game tonight?
Yeah, I've been speaking to Ross over in China. He had a game last night. Unfortunately, he hurt his neck, so he couldn't play, but he's sort of he's hoping that it's not a Griffiths curse and and that the boys can go out and sort of win it, not just for us, but also for him. I think he's sort of got some bad memories of that day, and it would be something he would like to win. He still feels part of this team when he comes back and sees the boys. So yeah, I think he's watching. I think it's showing live over there as well. I think it's showing live in a few countries. So yeah, he just said to say wish the boys luck, and hopefully we get a win again.
ACL Tuesday night, I believe you're suspended, so you get a nice Tuesday night off, not heading to Korea.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing for myself. No one likes to be suspended for any game, really. ACL, it'd be good to travel away with the boys, and I mean, I'm not sure if Korea is the best country to be in right now, but yeah, no, it is disappointing, and hopefully the boys just sort of can recover quite well and get themselves ready for that game. But I might be having a beer and hopefully celebrating from the weekend by myself. We'll see.
I assume there was no ACL talk during the week.
No, not really. I mean, that'll come after tonight. I'm sure Arnie, the way he is, probably as soon as this game's finished, he'll be back at the hotel and analysing Korea for the next game on Tuesday. That's just typical Arnie. So it just takes it game by game, and I'm sure it'll just be just as important as tonight.
Brent, you're going for a Mariners victory here tonight. What will be the score, and who do you think will get the Joe Marsden medalist?
I think I'll go for score first of all. Obviously, I'm going to go with 2-0 Mariners. That's the way I'm feeling. Hopefully Byrne pops up with a goal and Mikey McGlinchey. But Joe Marsden, it's a really tough one to pick that. I think you look like last season, I think it was Burnsy, was on the losing team and won it. So it's really one of them, whoever's up for it on the day. I think big games bring big players. So let's just see who can produce on the day.
Very diplomatic, Brent Griffiths. Thanks for joining us here on Coast FM 963. Thanks for joining us throughout the season as well. It's been a pleasure to have you. Good luck for the Asian Champions League game coming up. Hopefully you get a start against Cashua Raysol in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and thanks for having me.
Brent Griffiths here on Coast FM 963. We'll take a short break here from the grand final, and we'll be back to preview all the action between the Wanderers and the Mariners, live and local here on Coast FM 963.
You roll out of your comfy bed, have a quick shower and wash your hair. Easy. Quickly get dressed and time for breakfast. And pretty much all the everyday things you've just used came from the other place that's comfortable, easy and quick, the Imperial Centre Gosford. It was the first shopping centre on the coast, the first to give us truly convenient, easy shopping. And that same experience is still what you get every day. The Imperial Centre Gosford. Comfortable, easy, just like home.
A station sponsor.
When you've been in real estate for over 40 years, you make a lot of contacts, and that's how it is with Rain and Horn Gosford. Every day they're working to find the right buyer for your property. And with a wealth of experience and local knowledge, you're in good hands. Rain and Horn Gosford is family owned by Jeff and Sue Tilden, proud of their many industry awards for customer care. Buying, selling, renting. Call Rain and Horn Real Estate in the centre of Gosford, 4324 7744.
Station sponsor.
At half-time, when the Mariners chomp into a big, juicy piece of fruit, it's been supplied by Fruit for All. From day one, they've been supplying the Mariners with only the best variety and quality. And it's the same when you shop at Fruit for All in Tumbie Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. Nick, Tony and Angelo pride themselves on supplying the freshest and finest fruit and veggies, whether it's to restaurants and caterers or to you. Open from 7 every morning, Fruit for All, Tumbie Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. They love their football, but best of all, they love their fruit.
A station sponsor.
Blue Tongue Stadium is proud to sponsor the Mariners live call on Coast FM. Join Blue Tongue Stadium on Facebook to find out what's happening, including all their upcoming events and latest news. Check out their website at www.bluetonguestadium.com.au. Blue Tongue Stadium is a proud sponsor of the Mariners live football call on Coast FM.
Welcome back here to the Sydney Football Stadium as we prepare for kickoff in the Hyundai A-League Season 8 Grand Final. The Central Coast Mariners doing battle against the Western Sydney Wanderers. This is the Mariners' 4th Grand Final in 8 seasons, and just looking them warm up at the moment, this is the best they've looked like all season, so I can't wait for this one. Michael Kmet.
Absolutely, and we heard the players go through it. Adriano Pellegrino talking about Bernie Abini, how superb he's been at training during the week. I think he is one of the keys tonight, Luke. I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, since he's come back from Belgium the trial, but particularly the last 3 or 4 weeks, he has been absolutely dynamic on there, running at players. Him and Michael McGlinchey, they will cause a headache in that midfield tonight. That's where the game's going to be won and lost for my mind, is those players. I think the Mariners have just got that edge at the moment in the midfield. They've got players who are hitting their peak at the moment, while the Wanderers have got players coming back through injury.
Michael, yesterday I went to the press conference, obviously. We caught up with Graham Arnold before. Let's catch up with John Hutchinson, the Central Coast Mariners captain. Sorry, I'm just spitting it out here. And he talks about the experiences that the Mariners had in the past 8 seasons.
Yeah, it's motivation. It's, those grand finals are gone now and, it's out of our hands, but to look forward to this one coming up, that we can control our destiny. The boys have spoke briefly about it, controlling our own destiny tomorrow, and it's something that we can hopefully win. It's something that everyone around says the club needs to win, because we've been there 3 times and haven't done so. So, for us and for Central Coast as a community and a club, it's a big game. We're not shying away from the fact that we lost the 3 of them. I called a Brisbane one the unlosable one.
it hurt at time. It hurt a lot of players, a lot of people. Arnie picked us up off the canvas pretty much and took us on to next season and win the league. And we've got another chance now to do something that no Mariners team's done in the past. So we're just looking forward to the game. We know that Western Sydney are a fantastic team, a fantastic coach, and they've had a wonderful year. We know how hard it is to win the Premier's Plate. We watched them chase us down, overtake us, and then maintain that for the rest of the season. So we know it's going to be a tough game, but we're just looking forward to getting out there and hopefully get our hands on a trophy.
John Hutchinson also spoke about the Western Sydney Wanderers and how he sees this grand final going.
Yeah, it's obviously, I think the Western Sydney stories are not only a great story for Australian football, but for Australian sport as well. What they've done this season and where they've come from is fantastic. They've built a club up from nothing, and to win the Premier's Plate and be in the grand final is an unbelievable achievement. Not only, as I said, not only for soccer, but for football, for sport in Australia in general. But with ourselves, as I said, the 3 grand final losses hurt. The first one we were never meant to win it against Sydney FC. We were the underdogs. The Newcastle Jets one, we were hoping to win it. It just didn't go our way. And the Brisbane one, as I said, that was the unlosable one in the end, and we lost it. So we're just looking forward to producing our best football, and hopefully the football gods are smiling on us tomorrow when we take to the field, and we can get the trophy, not for ourselves, but for Central Coast as a club and as a community.
John Hutchinson there. He also spoke about the underdog tag going into this grand final. The Mariners have been announced underdogs by many betting agencies and by the general public, but there's a lot of people in the football world who think the Mariners can win this one.
I think we should be. I think after what Western Sydney done towards the end of the season, that amazing run, you can't do what they've done without having a great team and a great coach. And as I said, we watched them start chasing us on the ladder. We watched them go past us, and then they maintain that. It's an incredible effort. It's as I said, we know what it takes to win the Premier's Plate. 27 rounds of tough football. Teams trying to always knock you off when you're on top, and when they've done that and they beat Brisbane very comfortable in the semi-final, we know it's going to be a big game.
John Hutchinson there yesterday at the press conference for the Hyundai A-League Grand Final. What an atmosphere it is down here pitch side, getting ready for kick-off in what could be the most important game of the Mariners' life in the A-League as the Mariners look to secure their maiden championship. Michael Kmet, as we keep talking about it, this is the Mariners' time.
It is the Mariners' time in what will be the biggest game in A-League history, and it's all because of Western Sydney and what they've brought to the table in the last season or so, and the excitement they've brought to this A-League competition, and they've brought a lot of teams up with it, and the good marquees at Sydney FC, in Del Piero, Newcastle and Heskey. It's been a lot to celebrate this A-League season, and the Mariners, they've been the best they've ever been in terms of the most points they've ever scored in an A-League competition. They scored more points than they did last season when they won the Premiership, and it only took that incredible run by Western Sydney, that run of 14 games that eclipsed the Mariners. So we're going to have 2 teams at their best today, 2 teams at their peak, and as you were saying, Luke, it's certainly now or never for the Mariners. I wouldn't say never, but it just has that feel that it's the Mariners' time tonight, this afternoon.
Michael, let's look at the 2 team lineups here for today's grand final. The Western Sydney Wanderers are the premiers. They won the A-League by 3 points over the Central Coast Mariners last weekend in the semi-final, the preliminary final at Parramatta Stadium. They defeated the Brisbane Roar by 2-0 as Dino Cressinger and Shinji Ono getting the goals. Yusuf Hersey was sent off in that game. He received a red card. He is ineligible to play here this evening. Let's have a look at their lineup, coached by Tony Popovich.
Yeah, they've listed Western Sydney Wanderers as Team A for tonight, being the premiers. Number 1 in goals is Ante Kovic. Number 2, Shannon Cole. Number 4, Nikolai Topper-Stanley. Number 5, captaining tonight and for most of the season was Michael Beauchamp. Number 6 is Jerome Pollins. Number 8, Matteo Poliak. Number 9 is Dino Cressinger. Number 10, Aaron Moy. Number 14, Kwabena Apaya Kubi. Number 19 is Mark Bridge. And number 21, Maki Shinji Ono. On the bench for the Wanderers are number 7, Labano Haliti. Number 11, Tariq Elrich. Number 16, Rocco Visconti. Number 23, Jason Trefiro. And number 30, Carlos Saliadere.
Western Sydney Wanderers, concerns over Moy, concerns over Pollens. For mine, that's the big tactical battle here, and a big risk Tony Popovich has taken on this one.
Absolutely a big risk, and you understand why he wants to play those players. They've been superb for the Wanderers this season. They're the experienced players that he had with them, and when Wanderers were playing well, they're the ones who've come along for the ride as well. Aaron Moy, of course, being a Socceroo himself. It's certainly a risk, but I think in a coach that hasn't taken a lot of risks this season, so he must be supremely confident in their ability to do the job tonight.
Looking at the bench of the Western Sydney Wanderers, not a lot of impact other than Labano Haliti, who scored the winning goal at Central Coast Blue Tongue Stadium when they beat the Mariners 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, Rocco Visconti is a good player, and he's come from Queensland Raw, and he's proved that last week. The last round against Newcastle, where he scored an absolute screamer off the bench. Jason Trefiro, the Central Coast boy. No, not the Central Coast boys. Sorry, that's the other boy in Reece Kera and Joey Gibbs. Jason Trefiro is an ex-Mariners youth player and state league player. And, you know, there's question marks over him. And Tariq Elrich, well, he's been in an A-League Grand Final before. Certainly got the experience, but he doesn't have his dynamic nature that he's had in the past.
Ante Kovic, he got Goalkeeper of the Year during the week. He stands in between the Mariners and winning this Grand Final for mine.
Yeah, without a doubt, Ante Kovic. How Melbourne ever let him go was beyond me. Apparently they probably had cap issues, and he's a superb player. Another one who played in that Grand Final against the Mariners in Season 3. He knows what it's like to be a Grand Final winner and a Grand Finalist. I think he is one of the best goalkeepers in the A-League competition. The top three being certainly Matt Ryan and Eugene Galekovic as well. He's certainly a key for them tonight.
All right, let's look at the Central Coast Mariners. They are coached by Graham Arnold. They finished second on the premiership ladder behind the Western Sydney Wanderers. Last Sunday, they defeated the Melbourne Victory 1-0. Daniel McBreen with the goal. Nick Montgomery is not eligible to play in this Grand Final after being sent off for his second bookable offence against the Melbourne Victory for a challenge in the 91st minute.
Number 1 in goals is Matthew Ryan. Number 2, Daniel McBreen. Number 3, Joshua Rose. Number 4, Pedge Bowich. Number 6 is Patrick Zwanswijk. Number 7, Captain John Hutchinson. Number 9, Bernie Abini. Number 11, Oliver Bazanich. Number 14, Michael McGlinchey. Number 16, Trent Sainsbury. And number 21, Mile Sturjowski. On the bench for the Mariners are number 5, Zachary Anderson. Number 17, Anthony Caceres. Number 19, Mitchell Duke. Number 20, Justin Passfield. Number 29, Nick Fitzgerald.
And for the Central Coast Mariners, only the one change with Montgomery coming out. In comes Ollie Bazanich, a Central Coast born player and bred, so that's fantastic news for the Mariners. And then on the bench comes young Anthony Caceres, who's been a standout National Youth League all season.
Yeah, absolutely right. And look, the loss of Montgomery will be noted in how he matches up against Shinji Ono, but coming in is Oliver Bazanich, a goal-scoring Grand Finalist himself for the Central Coast Mariners. We know Western Sydney will certainly press the Mariners very, very high for the mistake, and having Ollie Bazanich in there is certainly an advantage. We know he's a very accomplished ball player. He's a very good passer of the ball, so having a team that presses very high, he might be able to unlock the pass coming out of the defensive midfield straight through the middle of the park onto players like Daniel McBreen, Bernie Abini or Michael McGlinchey to send the Mariners going forward. So I think the loss of Yusuf Hersey is a much, much bigger loss than the loss of Nick Montgomery.
Do you think Oliver Bazanich will swap over to the left side of the defensive midfield and Hutchinson will go to the right, because Oliver Bazanich is more a left footer and he doesn't really have a right foot?
John Hutchinson is a left footer as well.
Yeah, but he has a right foot though.
No, that's absolutely right. And I think perhaps he will switch over to the left-hand side, and look, or maybe it's hard to say with Graham Arnold. They're both, accomplished with both sides of their feet, left or right foot in that respect. And you say he doesn't have a left foot. He's a mean passer of the ball. Ollie Bozanic, doesn't matter if it's left or right.
I'm sort of thinking more that he'll fill in that little transition with McGlinchey and also Rose on that left-hand side going forward.
Well, he does have the runs on the boards in terms of linking up with Joshua Rose from a more advanced position in past outings for the Mariners. So, look, I think you're absolutely right there, Luke. It'd probably be suited having him on the left-hand side.
Mile Serjovski, we noted him as one of the key players for last week's game. He comes into this grand final again. It's only his third start for the Mariners, playing at the number 9 position. He is vital again for the Mariners tonight, so he can hold the ball up and work Daniel McBreen and the 2 wide players into the game.
Yeah, he's a very vital player tonight. He's been a little bit maligned by Mariners supporters this season, but I think he's had some excellent games lately in Mariners colours. I thought he was outstanding last week, and the fact that the Mariners can start him for about 60 minutes to do the smash and dirty job against 2 very physical defenders in Michael Beauchamp and Nikolai Topper-Stanley will allow Mitchell Duke to come on around that 55, 60-minute mark, depends how the Mariners are going. It'll allow Mitchell Duke to come and really cause the slow 2 centre-backs of Western Sydney a bit of havoc with Mitchell Duke's defence. And Luke, you're the one who gave me the stat pre-game. Mile Stojovski is another A-League Grand Final scorer. In 1999, 14 years ago, he scored in the A-League Grand Final. Not the A-League, National League Grand Final.
National League, Mile Stojovski, one of 3 Mariners in the current squad to score in an Australian League Grand Final, the other 2 being Oliver Bozanic and also Adam Kwasnik. And I just saw Adam Kwasnik hobble past me down here pitch side as well. Might be the end of Adam Kwasnik's career. We're talking about players who are leaving. He might be another one who's not around next season.
I've heard a little rumour that he will be signed for the next 2 seasons, Luke, so we'll see what happens there.
Now, for the Central Coast Mariners, Michael, what's your tip for this one?
I think the Mariners will be too strong in this game. I think it's a very, very tight game between the 2 tight defences. Only 1 goal in it. Central Coast Mariners, for my mind, with the victory.
And Michael, I just got information, pitch side, that Adam Kwasnik's going to join us at half-time.
Fantastic.
So we can ask Adam exactly what's happening next year.
Well, there you go. We'll get it straight from Adam Kwasnik's mouth on whether he'll be part of the Mariners squad for next season.
Fantastic. Can't wait to hear that. So 1-0 for you, Michael Kmet. And any tip for the Joe Marsden medalist?
Joe Marsden medalist, Michael McGlinchey.
Michael McGlinchey for you, Michael Kmet. Michael, I see the game very similar to you. I have a feeling this could be it for the Mariners. This could be their time. I think the Mariners will win this one. I'm also with you for Michael McGlinchey as the Joe Marsden medalist. I think with Collins coming in under a serious injury cloud, it will be Michael McGlinchey's time to shine, and he's turned into the true pro this season for the Mariners.
Absolutely. His time is almost up in this A-League competition. I think he's destined at 25 for bigger things overseas, which would be great for him, great for New Zealand as well. They're just going through the team lineups at the moment, and they're putting the junior clubs of each individual player. Patrick Swansyke and Ajax Amsterdam Junior, so you can't get better pedigree than that.
I was having a quick chat during the week to a couple of people, and a photo surfaced of a King Park football team under 12s where Anthony Caceres, and also Byrne won the state championship playing for their school, King Park.
Well, even at that young age, and I know they went on to Blacktown, and Blacktown's a very strong feeder club for the Mariners. Whether it'll be in the future, yet to be seen, but a lot of Sydney players there coming through playing for the Mariners, and back then they even had the pedigree, and I think both of them are destined for huge careers overseas as well.
Don't forget, you can send us an email, football@coastfm.org.au. That's football@coastfm.org.au, with thanks to OnQ Communications. That's onq.net.au. Very shortly, we will have kickoff in Season 8 A-League Grand Final here at the Sydney Football Stadium in front of a full house. The Western Sydney Wanderers and the RBB are out in force, but so are the Yellow Army, making lots and lots of noise as the players are being announced to the crowd. We're not too far away from kickoff. We'll take a short break here on Coast FM 963, and we will be back with all the action here, live and local.
At half-time, when the Mariners chomp into a big, juicy piece of fruit, it's been supplied by Fruit for All. From day one, they've been supplying the Mariners with only the best variety and quality. And it's the same when you shop at Fruit for All in Tumbie Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. Nick, Tony and Angelo pride themselves on supplying the freshest and finest fruit and veggies, whether it's to restaurants and caterers or to you. Open from 7 every morning, Fruit for All, Tumbie Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. They love their football, but best of all, they love their fruit.
A station sponsor.
When you've been in real estate for over 40 years, you make a lot of contacts, and that's how it is with Rain and Horn Gosford. Every day they're working to find the right buyer for your property. And with a wealth of experience and local knowledge, you're in good hands. Rain and Horn Gosford is family owned by Jeff and Sue Tilden, proud of their many industry awards for customer care. Buying, selling, renting. Call Rain and Horn Real Estate in the centre of Gosford, 4324 7744.
Station sponsor.
Bluetongue Stadium is proud to sponsor the Mariners live call on Coast FM. Join Bluetongue Stadium on Facebook to find out what's happening, including all their upcoming events and latest news. Check out their website at www.bluetonguestadium.com.au. Bluetongue Stadium is a proud sponsor of the Mariners live football call on Coast FM.
You roll out of your comfy bed, have a quick shower and wash your hair? Easy. Quickly get dressed and time for breakfast. And pretty much all the everyday things you've just used came from the other place that's comfortable, easy and quick, the Imperial Centre Gosford. It was the first shopping centre on the coast, the first to give us truly convenient, easy shopping. And that same experience is still what you get every day. The Imperial Centre Gosford. Comfortable, easy, just like home.
A station sponsor.
Welcome back into the Sydney Football Stadium as we get ready for kickoff. Season 8 of the A-League here, live and local on Coast FM 963. What an amazing day it has been in Sydney, reaching a top temperature of 24 degrees. Currently here at the Sydney Football Stadium, it is 20 degrees with a little bit of a breeze coming out of the south, so it could be behind one of the teams and could give them a little bit of an advantage through the 90 minutes of football. The crowd is nearly a full house here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Just member seats not taken, but the atmosphere here is incredible. It takes me back to 2 seasons ago there at Suncorp Stadium or Lang Park, where there was 50,000 Brisbane Roar supporters chanting, and the Yellow Army were out in force as well. This is going to be another classic A-League Grand Final, and the two men who have called this will be their 4th A-League Grand Final, are going to take you through all the drama, all the action, through what is going to be an incredible day in Australian football. Let's hand over to Trent Dickinson and Michael Kmet for Season 8's A-League Grand Final. A very good afternoon to you, Trent.
Thank you very much, Luke. 43,967. That is the number of fans that have turned up to a football game here at the Sydney Football Stadium. That date was the 31st of October, 1993. The match, Australia versus Argentina. That's the official record. I believe there was a match in 1989 where there were more than 44,000 fans in this field, Michael Kmet. But we'll never know. The gates were thrown open. But today, it's certainly pushing, nudging that 40,000 mark.
Absolutely. It won't be because of the members here. A few seats empty in front of us, but I was at that day against Argentina. The atmosphere was superb, but I tell you what, it is nothing compared to the atmosphere here tonight.
No, every fan in here is vocal. Even the members up here who are sitting here in Waratah jerseys and other jerseys are up and on their feet. The Central Coast Mariners and the Western Sydney Wanderers have made their way out onto the field of play. The Western Sydney Wanderers wearing their red tracksuit tops at the moment, white shorts and black socks. The Central Coast Mariners in their all-yellow jersey, blue trim and blue shorts. We get ready here for the national anthem here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Everyone upstanding for this one. The 4th one of these that Michael and I have been to. It's a 2nd or 3rd one here, actually, isn't it, Michael? A 3rd one to be carried out here at the Sydney Football Stadium.
Absolutely, our 3rd grand final, Season 1. For reverence to our national anthem, we still have to talk. But Season 1 against Sydney FC, Season 3 here against the Newcastle Jets, both 1-0 losses for the Mariners. They don't have a great record here. Central Coast Mariners at this stadium, and they're goalless here this season as well.
They certainly are. The Central Coast Mariners fans at the southern end here of the City Football Stadium. It's our time reads a banner. Simple. Those 3 words have been placed on white. It's our time. Well, I'm not sure if the Western Sydney Wanderers are going to roll over simply because the Mariners believe it's their time. But big game experience, if it counts for anything, the Mariners have it in spades full here today.
Oh, and Western Sydney have plenty of themselves, and Ante Kovic, Shannon Cole, Michael Beauchamp, Nikolai Topper-Stanley, Mark Bridge, they're all A-League Grand Finals appearers as well, and they've probably got more A-League Grand Final victories under their belts than the Mariners players.
They certainly do, because it wouldn't be too difficult, would it?
Absolutely not.
Of course, Michael Beauchamp tasted defeat as a Mariner back in 2006 at this very ground.
Absolutely. Best on ground that day, as we said in pre-game. Dwight York did win the Joe Marston medal, but he was absolutely supreme that day for the Mariners in what was a very, very tight game.
White socks on the Mariners here today in their navy blue shorts. Western Sydney got the dibs on the dark-coloured socks, and they're wearing the black socks here today. The referee today for this grand final, Peter Green, he will be assisted by David Walsh and Nathan McDonald. The 4th official is Strebre Dolowski, and we're not far away from a kick-off. The toss of the coin to be formed here between 2 former teammates in Michael Beauchamp and John Hutchison.
Yep, 2 former teammates, mates as well. Trent, the other thing we haven't really mentioned in our pre-game program was the preview was the actual pitch. It doesn't look in fantastic shape. Looks very, very patchy, and it'll be interesting to see how that'll affect the quality of play tonight.
Certainly is, and of course Luke mentioned that in one of the interviews it was mentioned there was a rugby match here on Friday evening, and then torrential rain in Sydney yesterday, so much so the warm-up or training session pre-game venue familiarisation session had to be moved across the road here to the Sydney Cricket Ground for both teams because of the wet weather, and probably the best they could do with the field here today is get it to this standard, and as we know, the other codes are certainly busy using the field at the moment.
Don't know who won the toss there, but the players are running towards their own supporters' end, so I'm not sure which captain would make the decision to go the opposite one. You'd think you'd want to run towards your own end, your own supporters' end in the second half.
We'll find out very shortly. The Mariners are in a huddle towards the northern end here of the City Football Stadium. The northern end today is the end taken up by the Western Sydney fans, the red and black block, and they certainly are a huge block down there. A flare has been let off, a smoke flare down there at the red and black block just to start sessions off, and I'm not sure how the officials are going to get into the middle there to actually extinguish such flare, but it's certainly let off here already. The kickoff will be the West Sydney Wanderers. The Mariners have won the toss here in the grand final. They've elected to defend the northern end here of the Sydney Football Stadium.
Yeah, look over there. I had a conversation with someone today, and they said, will the RBB let off any flares? I said, there'll be no question let off flares. The only question will be how many will be let off tonight.
Whether there's smoke or flame flares, I guess.
Yes.
Referee Peter Green just checks once more with the sideline, checks his watch. We might be underway very shortly here between the Mariners and West Sydney Wanderers in the 8th edition of the grand final in the A-League. Again, the Mariners have played 2 here against different opposition. This is their 3rd. Again, another opposition here. And after today, 3 of the 4 New South Wales teams would have tasted victory in a grand final.
Yeah, quite incredible, isn't it? And you look over the home end. That home end extends down the side. You look at the sideline. There's people standing up there as well in the Western Sydney supporters. Quite amazing. Really is a sea of red and black with a little spurt of yellow at one end.
So the Western Sydney Wanderers, it's amazing. The FFA thought we'll punt on Townsville and then the Gold Coast first.
Yeah, quite incredible, isn't it?
As the Western Sydney Wanderers get us underway here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Sainsbury gets an early head on the ball for the Mariners, pushing it forward. Shannon Cole pushes it back to the Mariners' backline. Svonsvik with a nervous first touch. Cressinger closes down on a back pass towards Matt Ryan for the Mariners very quickly. They know to put the Mariners' custodian under pressure. Gets a little bit nervous as they come streaming down. Bouchamp now pushes the ball forward for the Wanderers. Getting over the top again was Moy that time for the Wanderers. He has the ball on the right-hand side. He can push it once more. He can. They're within 16 metres of the Mariners' goal line. Moy pushing to the penalty area. Apai Kubi down the right-hand side, and it's deflected out over the goal line there by Patrick Svonsvik. It will be a corner, the first corner of the match. We've only had some 50 seconds. The Mariners concede the first corner of the match. Going across to take it will be Ono for the Western Sydney Wanderers.
We see the pitch come into effect already in this first minute. Topper Stanley got an absolute bobble that made him miss kick it, and then Patrick Svonsvik got a bobble as well. It's going to be the story of this game, unfortunately.
So Ono plays it short. It's with Bridge on the right-hand side. Now to Moy, top of the penalty area. Far out, though. Stajowski goes across for the Mariners. Back to Ono, near the touchline. Swings it in, near post. Bumbled around. It will be another corner to the Wanderers team. 2 minutes gone. 2 corners to the Western Sydney Wanderers right in front of their fans, their home fans, down there at the northern end.
Yeah, nervous start by the Mariners. They didn't get the ball on the deck the first few times they tried to head it away, and now they're already under pressure under set pieces.
So Ono, right foot corner, swing away from the Matt Ryan goal. He stays centre. It's gone out of play. It will be a goal kick here. Flag's gone up from the assistant referee. Ono's corner, swing out of the field of play, then coming back in. Mariners' first goal kick of the evening was to speak to Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
Incredible atmosphere down here, gentlemen. This is going to be one of the best games in Australian football and A-League history if the Mariners and the Wanderers can showcase their talent here today.
Well, they're hoping to, certainly, and they're hoping that the game lives up to the hype that the crowd has brought along here to the Sydney Football Stadium. The Wanderers with a throw, their side of halfway, off the left boot, up towards Apai Kubi. Doesn't quite make him now. Ono gets involved, runs in the back there. Involved in the Mariners are McGlinchey. So was McBreen and Bazanic. The ball out, though, over the eastern touchline. It will be a throw to the Wanderers on halfway. We've had 3 minutes of play, 0-0 the score.
Very, very nervous start by the Mariners. 3 or 4 passes now haven't hit the mark. One thing we can realise, though, as soon as Shinji Ono got the ball, there was almost 3 Mariners players willing to get the ball off him, and they did that this time.
The ball on the right-hand side. It's been headed back to the goalkeeper in Ryan by Joshua Rose. Apai Kubi was in chase. In that situation, Rose taking the easy option. Skipper Hutchison with a touch now goes back to Svonsvik. Svonsvik approaches halfway. A wall of 4 Wanderers players in front of him. Spreads it left-hand side. Finds Rose. Target man there was Bazanic. He'll fall for Stajowski here. Western Sydney Wanderers, though, have turned the ball over. Apai Kubi crosses halfway. Turns Rose around, then puts himself in a foot race up against Rose. Rose tries to narrow the angle and see the ball out over the touchline. They both go down right in front of the assistant referee. Apai Kubi comes up, trumps, keeps the ball in play. Bazanic heavily into Moy. Turns the ball over. In fact, it was McGlinchey now onto Bazanic. McGlinchey once again with the ball. Stajowski's made a run, but the right-hand side, Bowick has made a run. There's a bit of empty paddock in front of Pedge Bowick. He'll get around 1 here in front of him. He'll pull the ball backwards now, looks towards Abini. 2 in front of Abini. Abini approaches the penalty area for the Mariners. Bowick wide, outside the penalty area. Nutmeg there, onto Cole. Cuts back. Abini shoots on goal. Deflection, no. Miss kick over the top. Well over the crossbar. Abini, the head went back. Was there a bobble?
Oh, I don't know if there was a bobble. We'll go to Luke in the moment, but lovely transition work by the Mariners. Did very, very well there. Pedge Bowick, great ball to Byrne Abini. No, his head was in the skies. Byrne Abini as he blasted that over the bar. Luke Byrne.
Yeah, it did bounce up just as he went to connect it. Good pressure there by Moy, but Byrne Abini's head wasn't in the right space.
Better transition work by the Mariners moving across. They want to get that ball moving across the field very quickly, and they did on that occasion.
Abini now back towards his own goal, short of halfway, puts it out over the touchline. Throw to the Wanderers. No, throw to the Mariners, in fact. The referee went the Wanderers. The assistant referee was tending to go towards the Mariners and ended up deciding that's the way he wanted to go. So it'll be a throw here for Pedge Bowick from the western side of the Sydney Football Stadium. Sainsbury and across to Svensvik. Roses once again. The Wanderers moving across as forward to try and nullify the Mariners midfield. Now Rose gets some space. Payakubi has to chase down. It's a deep cross put on there. Topol Stanley not listening to his goalkeeper there, not sure what was going on. He got away with it there, Nikolai Topol Stanley, but certainly Ante Kovic had come to claim that ball, and Topol Stanley took the risky option of playing it right in front of his goalkeeper.
Joshua Rose is already finding plenty of space on the left. There's a few times now that Payakubi hasn't come back to grab Joshua Rose. I think he's going to pin him back more and more as the game goes on.
McBreen trying to make it get him behind the line here. He goes over the top there of Cole. Cole keeps his feet. McBreen goes to ground. Referee calls play on. The advantage with the Wanderers. Beauchamp quickly spreads to the right-hand side or eastern side of the Sydney Football Stadium for the Wanderers. They cross halfway. It's a long ball. It'll be easily pickings there for Matt Ryan, dressed in the all-pink here tonight. It was a poor throw out towards Oliver Bozanic. Bozanic did well to control it. An apology was given by the Mariners custodian.
That's where you're going to get strength from Oliver Bozanic is in those situations.
Stojowski here up against Beauchamp. Beauchamp had to put the ball out quickly towards the eastern side, did so. Throw came in quickly by the Mariners. Now it is with McGlinchey. On to Rose. Rose makes his way towards the penalty. Steps over Moy. Comes into Beauchamp. Goes to ground. Referee sounds his whistle. Free kick to the Mariners. It's just outside the penalty area towards the eastern side here of the Sydney Football Stadium southern end. The Mariners get their first free kick of the afternoon. 7 minutes gone, 0-0 the score.
You can see this is going to be the weakness for Western Sydney tonight. It's along that wing with Pollens now.
It was Pollens, sorry about that, Michael Beauchamp.
It was Pollens who's coming back through injury, and Payakubi. That's where the Mariners are looking to exploit. Joshua Rose is already getting plenty of traction.
Exactly how far away from the action we are here. McGlinchey strikes with the right boot, goes in towards the far post. Up goes Sainsbury in a battle there against Topol Stanley. Topol Stanley wins it, then Bridge comes and throws the boot through. Should be a throw to the Mariners. And eventually the assistant referee and referee decide a way to go. And they do go to the Mariners. So it'll be John Hutchison here with the long throw into the penalty area. He's delivered it. Doesn't beat the first man. It'll fall out now for the Wanderers, but it sits for Svensvik, who goes for a long-range effort, some 45 metres out from goal, well over the crossbar. Appeals for a touch there, perhaps off Cressinger. Wasn't forthcoming, and it will be a goal kick for the Wanderers. 8 minutes gone, 0-0 the score.
And the Mariners already start to gain some ascendancy in this game. Nervous start, but once now they start playing the balls to their feet, their movement is looking excellent.
Takes ahead of Sainsbury, the goal kick that is. Then it falls down quickly towards Cressinger. Mariners turn it over though. McBreen in towards McGlinchey in the centre. Mile Stojowski drew 4 defenders there, and he was running away from the ball, and Abini was chasing it down. Mariners still in possession. McBreen back towards goal. It's up in the air at the moment. A challenge being put on there by Polyak. Now Cressinger gets away from McBreen. McBreen appeals to something on the referee. Then he jumps over the leg there of Svensvik, and Svensvik's yelling at the referee to say that wasn't a foul. The referee didn't blow his whistle, so he agrees. The crowd goes up with a boo. But referee Peter Green wasn't to be fooled.
I'll tell you what, I think he probably was fouled, but he made such a meal of that. Mile Stojowski now.
Stojowski through Bish offside trap against Kovic, chips him. Is it in? It's over. Oh, it hit the crossbar. It hit the crossbar. The chip there from Mile Stojowski from just outside the penalty area on 9 minutes. The Mariners' best chance in this grand final. He'd beaten the offside trap. Mile Stojowski, Kovic had come. He was stranded just inside the line of his penalty area, and the chip from Stojowski struck the crossbar.
Oh, what a run by Mile Stojowski. He's just cut across the line just before he made the run, ran all the way through. It was a brilliant through ball through. That's the weakness of these two centre-backs, is their pace at the back, and it's centimetres away from opening the goal scoring there, Mile Stojowski.
What a fairy tale that would have been. Mile Stojowski to open the scoring here in the A-League Grand Final for 2012-2013. Isn't to be. Ono, right-hand side, puts the ball in towards the penalty area. One on the head there by Pej Bowic. It'll fall out the back. Or now it's top of the penalty area, I should say, towards Cressinger. Now left-hand side, that'll be Bridge out there in the 19 jersey for the Wanderers. Tries to deliver the cross, strikes Pej Bowic in the face and goes out over the touchline. It will be a throw to the Wanderers. They'll send Shannon Cole down to take the throw, and he'll deliver the long throw for the Wanderers.
Yes, the ball up and down the park at the moment. Lovely to say, there's some great movement out there.
Cole back from Bridge. Now Cole runs straight into Pej Bowic. Bowic just lowers the shoulder, allows him to run into it. Ball goes out over the touchline. Throw to the Wanderers. 10 minutes gone. 0-0 the score between the Wanderers and the Mariners.
Shinji Ono, every time he goes, he's well and truly picked up by John Hutchinson. John Hutchinson did very well there, just checking Shinji Ono on the way through. Looks like it's John Hutchinson's mission tonight to look after the talented Japanese midfielder.
The Western Sydney Wanderers have won the ball after the Mariners cleared it out. Stojowski was under it. He got a bit of a little shove there from Beauchamp, not enough to cause a free kick to result, but he wins the ball there, the Wanderers skipper, and they'll start again from the back. 0-0 the score, 11 minutes gone as we cross to Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
Michael, you just picked up the point I was going to make. Shinji Ono's being worn like a glove at the moment by John Hutchinson. Wherever he goes, Hutchinson's following.
Ball on the right-hand side. Cross comes in from the Wanderers. Easy pickings there for Matt Ryan. He claims it comfortably there. The cross was delivered there by Pollens. And I'll start again through Trent Sainsbury. He tries to play the ball long, and tell you what, Chris Inger has just shut him down and taken the ball off his bootlaces. That leaves Pedge Bowick to try and clean up with a beanie. A beanie eventually pumps it out over the touchline. Sainsbury forced into the mistake on that occasion.
Yeah, and you can see the real issue with Western Sydney's in the midfield. They're not getting a lot of traction there. Aaron Moy's been well checked by Daniel McBreen as well.
The ball coming to Piakubi was held back there by Joshua Rose. Assistant referee and referee allowed it continue. Then Beauchamp was held back by Mile Stojowski, and that will be a free kick to the Wanderers. They want to take it quickly. They're 11 metres into Mariners territory. They do take it quickly. Play it across towards Polak in the centre. Once more, they'll find Cole, left-hand side. He puts on his left boot in front of a beanie, pulls back, and decides to go back to the experience of Topple Stanley in the centre with Beauchamp. Topple Stanley was immense the last times these two teams met at Central Coast Stadium. That afternoon or that evening, it was a 1-0 win to the Wanderers over the Mariners.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had such a poor season when he was with Newcastle. It looked like his A-League career was over, but under the guidance of Tony Popovich, who was an accomplished centre-back himself, he's really taken on a lot of work this season, a lot of responsibility, and has been one of the best in this A-League competition.
The ball on the left-hand side, Rose trying to get there. He can't quite throw to the Wanderers. It is on the eastern side here at the City Football Stadium. Piakubi back towards goal, dispossessed by Rose, played a short ball in towards McBreen. Getting in there was Moy, stretching for it, and eventually Hutchison pulls it out towards the western side, and Bowick is there for the Mariners. They go back towards Matt Ryan in the Mariners' goal, and the short ball will be towards Sainsbury. Kovic has been tested once so far this evening. Didn't quite come off on it. Chipped by Stojowski, striking the crossbar though. 14 minutes gone here at the Sydney Football Stadium. 0-0 the score with thanks to Blue Tongue Stadium.
You've got to say the game's settled down in a very, very slow pace, frenetic to begin with, but I don't think this will test the physicality or the fitness of both teams who are supremely fit.
The ball at the moment with Beauchamp. It goes over the top looking towards Cressinger. One on the back there of Sainsbury's head. Then it's down for Bozanic. He stands on the ball, delivers off his right towards Stojowski, who gets around, tip off to Topple Stanley. That's a rare error there from Topple Stanley. Stojowski holds up, edge of the penalty area, out here towards the western side, offers it back to Abini. Getting around him is Pedge Bowick. Abini pulls it inside Bridge. He puts on his left, he decides to shoot, deflects off the back of his teammate in Stojowski, and the ball falls for Bridge there. And he'll take it away, Mark Bridge. He's still got the ball at his feet. He crosses halfway. He's over on the eastern side now. Feeds it off to a Piakubi within 16 metres of the Mariners' goal line. Wide on the west-hand side. A few little step-overs in front of Rose. Then Rose extends himself and plays the ball out. There were more step-overs in a coaching session there from a Piakubi. And eventually the Mariners break free.
Yeah, and he's seen it all before. Joshua Rose, very experienced player. That's turning into a ding-dong battle. Can't see how a Piakubi will have the legs to last this game against Joshua Rose. He's already done plenty of work down the right-hand side, and he's tried a few times to beat Joshua Rose by pure pace, the blistering pace he has, but we know he's very quick as well, Joshua Rose.
So a bit of interest in Vietnam in this game. We've had more listeners coming in from Vietnam than we've ever had before here on Coast FM. We'll cross the Luke Byrne now down the touchline with thanks to Blue Tongue Stadium.
The Mariners' record here at the Sydney Football Stadium this season's 2 losses against Sydney FC. They struggled both occasions with the pitch. They're struggling again with the pitch. A lot of passes being misdirected at the moment.
The ball on the right-hand side of Piakubi. He's got 2 around him. forget Hersey, Appiah-Kubi. There's 3 flares going on in front of the Mariners at the moment into the penalty area. Winning it, though, is McGlinchey and Rose. Left-hand side, there to McBreen. One in front of him. It is Moy, and McBreen's been adjudged to put the ball out over the touchline. I'll tell you what, how many flares did these guys able to sneak into the ground?
Oh, absolutely. Quite incredible.
It's like there's a fire behind there. The ball comes across the top. I guess it's a shame when the wind's not blowing the right way so they don't get the effect over the field.
No, absolutely not. But
and I do enjoy how they've put the sign up that smoking is not permitted in the ground at the moment.
That's the amount of smoking there. That's more and more fines. The fans don't care about it.
Luke, does the FFA fine themselves?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happens. Luke, I had a look at that Mile Stojowski Grand Final 1999, South Melbourne. He was playing for Sydney United. They did lose that game 3-2. He was a scorer. He scored the opening goal in the 8th minute. It was almost what was happening here.
Deja vu nearly,
yep.
The ball over the touchline by the Wanderers over here on the eastern side. The Mariners with a throw. Bowie should come and take it right on halfway. Just thinking about those flares. All they've really done is obscure their own vision of the match.
Yeah, they don't care. They're their sport. That's why they do the Ponzan.
Rose now. Apex of the penalty at eastern side, delivers the cross, up goes McBreen, went over the top of him, no, it'll fall at the back for a beanie, quickly on him is Bridge, pulling him back, Bowich wants the ball, touch of brilliance from Bowich, chips it over Bridge, then delivers the cross, bounces inside the goal area, Topple Stanley swings the left boot around the ball and puts it out over the touchline. Luke Byrne on that touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
Magical by Pedge Bowich getting around Mark Bridge there. He didn't know which way he was going. Bowich is a key for tonight for the Mariners. He needs to get more involved and really push high up against Mark Bridge, make him work and make him track back.
The moment Rose in towards McGlinchey. Moy getting there very quickly, puts the ball out over the eastern touchline, throw to the Mariners. We've had 17 minutes of play here at the Sydney Football Stadium. 0-0 the score in the grand final between the Wanderers and the Mariners. 1v2, season 8, the 8th edition of the grand final. The ball now out wide with the Mariners. McGlinchey on the right, delivers the cross, up goes Kovic again. Didn't look like there was great communication between Kovic and Topple Stanley, the goalkeeper reigning supreme on that occasion.
He took a long time to come out, Ante Kovic. He thought the defender was going, Mile Stojowski's just won the ball here.
Stolen the ball in midfield for the Mariners. It's with McBreen, opposite once more to a Beanie. Now a Beanie can get on his bike. No, he's not allowed to at the moment. Now he does. He pushes himself wider, then goes between two, and he goes down. The referee is straight in there. One of them was the 8 there in Polyak, and I think Cole was involved too, the number 2. It'll be a free kick now to the Mariners. It will be taken some 23 metres out from goal. It's 17 metres off centre towards the western side.
As they do the call and chant, the supporters, quite incredible, the Western Sydney supporters. A great run by Byrne Beanie. Didn't have the pace, the other two, to keep up with him as he glided through the middle. It's a good opportunity. Oliver Bozanic with his left foot curling in towards the keeper.
Two-man wall set up in front of Oliver Bozanic here for the free kick for the Mariners. Referee's whistle sounds. Left foot strikes it towards the far post. Up goes McBreen over the face of goal again. And the Wanderers have to go to safety through Polyak straight out over the goal line. And it will be a corner for the Mariners. It'll be the Mariners' first corner of the evening. 19 minutes gone. 0-0 the score with thanks to the Imperial Centre Gosford.
Brilliant work by Daniel McBreen. No one was really following up in the middle for the Mariners there.
Left foot corner swinging in for the Mariners. It's Bozanic. Abini was up there. Was one though there by Pollens. And it's out by the water.
Away here.
Bridges down that left-hand side. That's the side that he scored the goal for Newcastle. Is he getting away from Ponulak? No, from Pedge Bowich. He does. Swings in over the top though. Cressinger was coming in for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Right on the edge of the goal area. That was the Western Sydney Wanderers breaking as only they can.
They can, absolutely right. I was going to say that, Trent. That's when they're at the most dangerous, breaking away. Mark Bridge ghosted in towards the corner, had no one going with him. Lucky Pedge Bowich was around to put the accelerator down and cover him. He put a good ball in the end to Cressinger. Then he was the one ghosting on the far post, centimetres away, end-to-end stuff. Brilliant football.
Goal kick here for the Mariners. It's going to be taken by Matt Ryan off his right. Goes up, challenges to Josky out the back. McBreen wins the ball, offers it one more time. McGlinchey straight back in towards McBreen. Topple Stanley swinging his boot around to win the ball, puts it out over the touchline. Throw to the Mariners. It's only a metre short of the goal line. out on the eastern side of the Sydney Football Stadium. 0-0 the score, 20 minutes gone.
Oh, this is just incredible, the atmosphere. Luke, what's it like, touchline?
Oh, it's amazing, Mick. I don't think I've been to a better atmosphere game than this one. I know the game we played in Gosford only a month ago was incredible, but this just beats it straight away.
The ball in the centre circle now with the Mariners. Abini, he off gets it there, challenging the back by Cole. Abini running away from Cole, almost running to Cressinger. They go back to Sponspike. The Mariners go along with the left. Stojowski's there, beating the offside trap again. Topple Stanley directing traffic. Cole out on the left-hand side for the Wanderers. McBreen trying to get in there. Topple Stanley wins the header. Bowich delivery that time. And it's gone all the way back now to Sainsbury for the Mariners.
Oh, Mile Stojowski's finding plenty of space, doing a mountain of work up front for the Mariners. As I said, much maligned this season, but he's certainly showing now all his experience, all his years. He was a great Socceroos player, all his National League experience. I mentioned 1999 in the grand final. He's drawing on that at the moment.
The ball on halfway now with the Mariners. It's with Bowich. He's facing his own goal. Uses Sainsbury. We've had 22 minutes of play. 0-0 the score between the Wanderers and the Mariners. McBreen strikes him in the head. He gets away from Pollens, who's gone down.
Pollens is gone. He's grabbing at his groin.
I reckon he's gone. And that challenge there, the number 6-4, he's getting back to his feet now. He's making his way back into the penalty area. McGlinchey with the ball wide on the right-hand side. What can he do? He's surrounded by two. One's a Piakubi, and they've conceded a corner here for Wanderers. Plenty of pressure being placed on McGlinchey out there.
Well, that was his dodgy groin to begin with. It was a very big risk. He went up for the challenge with Daniel McBreen. He fell very, very awkwardly. You're never going to shake off a groin injury, I think, like Luke says.
He won't survive half-time. He won't survive half-time.
There's already movement on the Wanderers bench.
He won't survive the cool-down.
Big blow.
All right, your right foot corner to be delivered here by the Mariners. Better pushing the penalty area. Stojowski and Cole pushing around. Comes near post. Cole's there. Set place. Appeals for handball. Waved away by the referee. Back out again to McGlinchey. Right foot ball comes in. Up goes Topple Stanley. McBreen. Oh, on by Sainsbury. No, just outstretched. He was in the striker's position there, Sainsbury, from a head on there by McBreen, and just couldn't reach it in the end, taken by Ante Kovic in the Wanderers' goal.
Oh, he was set up by Daniel McBreen. The Mariners looking more and more menacing with their crosses and set plays. Daniel McBreen got up very high to win that header, and centimetres in it, Trent Sainsbury to get any sort of contact.
Could this come down to man management? Graham Arnold having to manage his squad through both the A-League Final Series and the Asian Champions League. Tony Popovic starting to have some injuries mount up on his squad.
Yeah, absolutely right. And he's had a risk in already playing Pollens in that game. Looks like that risk is not going to pay off for Tony Popovic.
Bridges turned over to Stojowski. The Mariners away now. It is with Michael McGlinchey. Can go one more time to Joshua Rose on the left-hand side. Does so. Plenty of pressure by Piakubi. The Mariners decide to change direction now towards the right-hand side, and Pedge Bowich with the ball being shut down there by Bridge. And they go across towards the left-hand side once again with Patrick Swanslyke. Pedge Bowich bring the ball inside Bridge. It was a bouncing ball that he had to work hard at. Bridge was right there. Now McBreen just does a great turn to Moya, turns Moya around. Left-hand side to Rose. Rose now into the penalty area, delivers the cross. Oh, and it's Abini who's missed the ball across the face of goal. Byrne Abini in the best spot to slot that one home, and somehow didn't make contact with the football.
Oh, supreme football by the Mariners there. One-touch football. Excellent work by Joshua Rose. Just didn't have that conviction. The going towards the goal there. Byrne Abini, Shannon Cole just deflected him a little bit, did some good defending there. That was one-touch football, and it unlocked, particularly down Pollen's side. He is really struggling down there. That's where Joshua Rose found all the space.
Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
Yeah, just got a wink from the Western Sydney Wanderers trainer because I was trying to get some information on Pollens. He said he's okay at the moment to continue.
So the ball now with Bozanic into the centre. He finds McGlinchey. Now Stojowski's made the run again, but it doesn't beat a Piakubi who's held out there with Pollens. The Wanderers in possession again. Pollens with the ball now. The right-hand side goes back once more towards Moy. Into the centre with Topple Stanley. Topple Stanley will find Cole on the left-hand side. Abini quickly across for the Mariners. Topple Stanley gets it back once again. Into the penalty area now. takes the head there of Sainsbury. Hutchison has two around him, so has to head the ball backwards straight away towards Abini. Appeals for handballs, and it's going to be a free kick here to the Wanderers side. Their bench went up as one. Referee agreed, and it will be a free kick here for Ono to take.
I think that went the wrong way, didn't it?
No, that was a handball by Byrne Abini, and very deliberate too. Lucky he didn't get a yellow card, in my opinion.
So Ono with the free kick here for the Wanderers. A two-man wall. Interesting idea to have a two-man wall out there. Probably one just to chase the runners. Now they do chase into the centre. Ball comes in the penalty area here. Cressinger goes wide once again out there. Cross comes in. It's been deflected over the goal line. Will be a corner here for the Wanderers. 26 minutes gone, 0-0 the score between the Wanderers and the Mariners here in the A-League Grand Final for 2012-2013.
Ono coming on the ball. Apart from set pieces, we really haven't seen anything of Shinji in this game so far. We know this is where his strength is.
So Ono delivers it, right foot corner, swinging away from Ryan towards the penalty spot. It's taken the head of a Wanderers player out over the goal line, wide of the Mariners' goal in any case, and it will be a goal kick here now for the Mariners and Matt Ryan. 27 minutes gone, 0-0 the score. Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
I think you'll find John Hutchinson's doing the job of his life on Ono at the moment. For mine, he hasn't had much of the ball, Hutchinson, but he's taken Ono out of the game. Sturjowski, what a wow of a game he's having at the moment for the Mariners, causing all sorts of havoc for Topor Stanley. He can't turn around and chase him.
The ball in the head now of Topor Stanley. Goes out towards the Paikubi on the right-hand side. It'll sit now for Moy. He'll go one more time and find Pollens, and Pollens' ball down the right-hand side was nowhere near anyone on the field of play, out over the touchline. Throw in for the Mariners. 27 minutes gone, 0-0 the score.
Oh, if I was the Mariners, I'd be sensing a wounded shark out there down that side. I'll be attacking Pollens as much as possible.
The ball in the head here of Sturjowski, then to McBreen. McBreen trying to get around one. Sturjowski swinging the leg. Free kick though to the Wanderers. Too much challenge in the back of Moy there. The Mariners closing down, and all those players that came in with injury clouds over them this week.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think they'd go as hard as they possibly can. Longer this game goes on, though, it's going to fall into the Mariners' hands. They're the ones more match hardened, more match fit at the moment. So the Mariners will be very happy with this situation, even a couple of opportunities to score goals.
The ball on the right-hand side now with the Wanderers. Sitting there for Moy. Moy holds at his feet, delivers off his right boot, goes all the way across towards Shannon Cole. Cole brings down his chest. Then Abini gets inside him. Abini steals the ball. He takes up the touchline. Foot race here. Can he keep the ball in the field of play? He can. Appeals from the crowd that it went out. No way, says the referee. And then using the referee as a shepherd there was Daniel McBreen. He allowed him to get away from Aaron Moy. Goes back to Svonsvik. Svonsvik releases Rose on the left-hand side. Rose makes a run, cuts it in now towards McGlinchey. Back over the top of Rose. He's wide here. Rose in the corner, delivers the ball out over the goal line, and it will be a goal kick to the Wanderers. 29 minutes gone, 0-0 the score.
Very difficult ball got given by Oliver Bozanic and Joshua Rose. Just couldn't get it down to hit it. On that occasion, it was Paikubi doing his job, actually following Joshua Rose and getting back. That allowed a much stronger defensive structure by Western Sydney. Hasn't happened in this game every single time. And if Western Sydney wants to shut out Joshua Rose, Michael McGlinchey, will have to do that.
Headed back here towards Matt Ryan from look to be Svonsvik. Ryan goes long off the left boot, right boot I should say. Up goes McBreen using all his body strength to win the ball. Then Bouchon can't bring it down. In fact, he concedes a foul there on Mile Sturjowski. Mile Sturjowski went up in the air. Bouchon tunnelled under him, brought him down awkwardly, and the referee sounds for a foul.
Yeah, consistent refereeing there. That's what happened with Daniel McBreen. And now in this situation again, free kick in good situations. Mariners have some great set pieces, some good corners, just haven't utilised it yet. Will he go for goal here, or is that I don't think so.
I think the back post, Michael's the key for the Mariners. Are winning lots of ball at the back post. I think Swans-White McBreen could be the target once again.
28 metres out from goal. Left-hand side of the Wanderers' goal. It comes in bouncing. It looked like a boot on there from McBreen. It was over the top of the crossbar. And it will be, in fact, I think it might have been Svonsvik who got his tie on that boot. and it will be a goal kick to the Wanderers.
One of those free kicks that, if Swanswyke didn't get a foot to it, is those free kicks that you see that often ghost into the far post, into the back of the net. That's where it looked like it was heading. Whether the keeper would have had that covered, I don't know. Swanswyke certainly had the right to go for the goal there.
Sainsbury goes up and wins the header onto a Beanie, but he can't keep possession, and it's now with Cressinger. Cressinger goes back towards Topple Stanley. Once more now onto Moy. Moy runs along the centre line towards the right hand or eastern side. It's with Pollens now. He delivers the cross. It's wayward again. The cross there from the number 6 for the Wanderers, and it's brought down by Hedge Bowich. Turns around with Hutchison. Hutchison facing a line of 4 from the Wanderers. Goes to Swanswyke. The crowd keeps singing here though.
Unbelievable.
Right-hand side, or left-hand side I should say, with Rose. Been brought down though by Pollens. He's played it on to Moy. Ono on halfway. He's been kept tight all match, Ono, and he's dispossessed again there by Bozanic, who teamed up with McGlinchey and also McBreen to put plenty of pressure on Ono. So now the Mariners away with it with Hutchison. They go on to Sainsbury. Getting pretty dark out there in the field of play. Might cross there to Luke shortly to see what the conditions are changing to. We'll see Cole clear it away. Only as far as a Beanie though. A Beanie in the centre of the field. Nice little turn, but he's offered the ball straight up there to Polyak, who's got the ball on the right-hand side of Piakubi's away from everyone. That means that Swanswyke's had to go quickly. He's had to meet a Piakubi, trying to keep him wide on the right-hand side. He's turned him around. He's in the penalty area. But too fast for him. That occasion was Bozanic. Though the Mariners have lost possession again in the centre. Beauchamp with the ball now for the Wanderers. Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
I think we forget that daylight savings finished, so we do get a little bit darker around this time now. It's already closing on 5 o'clock, and the sun's probably fallen in behind the Western Grandstand.
32 minutes gone here, 0-0 the score between the Wanderers and the Mariners in the A-League Grand Final for 2012-2013. The Wanderers taking out the premiership this season. The Mariners on the hunt to take a championship ring.
And they look on the hunt tonight. They look like the team more likely at the moment. You've got to say Western Sydney on the break, particularly out on the wings. Piakubi, very quick, very dynamic, just doesn't have the ball play at the moment, but he's certainly a threat.
The ball on the right-hand side for Bowich. He's closed down quickly here by Cole. Delivers the ball into the centre, looking for McBreen. Got there in front of Topple Stanley, though. It's been won by Polyak for the Wanderers. Goes towards the right-hand side. Rose will head down, wanting to find his goalkeeper. Can he keep the ball in the field of play? He did just. Well, the assistant referee would never really know because he was so late onto it. And in any case, Ryan says he did, and that's good enough for the referee.
They certainly did. How quick is Matt Ryan to get out to that? Wasn't the best of headers by Joshua Rose. And for Matt Ryan to get out and actually save that ball from going out in the corner.
Now the Wanderers are here are closing down the Mariners. They've pulled back John Hutchison to help out the back 2 to make it a back 3 just at the moment, whilst they've got the ball in their own third, or the defensive third here, the Mariners.
So compressed, aren't they, Western Sydney?
They've squeezed right down. The Mariners, they were stealing yards just between the 3 of them. They close in on halfway now. Bozanic gets a touch now with the ball. He delivers it across that compressed field in towards Pedge Boach, who runs straight into the number 2 in Shannon Cole. The referee says there's nothing there. I think Boach is going to take his revenge on someone, and eventually one of the players goes down. It was the number 8 in Polyak under a challenge there from Mile Sturjowski, and it will be a free kick to the Wanderers.
Definitely a free kick. Mile Sturjowski just before that. Pedge Boach, as you said, he ran straight into Shannon Cole looking to pick up the foul. So no free kick there. Good refereeing. He's done a pretty decent job so far this first 33 minutes, Peter Green.
The guy's standing right in front of you. What else can you do?
Yeah, that's right. You can't get it out of his way and say, here, dribble past me.
So 0-0 the score, 35 minutes gone here in the A-League decider for 2012-2013. You're on Coast FM 963 with Trent Dickinson, Michael Kmet and Luke Byrne, bringing you the Mariners' 4th grand final, the Western Sydney Wanderers' 1st grand final here on Coast FM 963. It will be a free kick here to the Mariners, a high foot put on there by one of the Wanderers players, and it's now taken by Patrick Swanswyke all the way back towards Matt Ryan, who's under plenty of pressure there. Every time Ryan gets a ball with some time on his feet, the Wanderers closing down very quickly. They're forcing the Mariners to play their balls across the back line quickly because the likes of Cressinger and Moy are closing down very quickly, and put Ono in there as well. The Mariners now go long, turn over possession towards the 6 in Pollens. Mariners have been lucky though, they've won it back in the midfield. They're playing on the left-hand side. Rose is attacking Pollens. Pollens jumps in the air and can only head it out over the touchline. A throw-in for the Mariners, 12 metres short of the Wanderers' goal line. 0-0 the score, 36 gone, Mariners throw.
Big shout-out to Nathan Clark, listening at home on Coast FM. Got a few around the world, a couple in North America as well.
The Philippines. And again to Vietnam, where our bulk of our listeners are coming from today. Overseas listeners, that is. Throw comes in here into the penalty area. It's going to fall for a Beanie. It's on the penalty spot. Wanderers get there first, though, and clear out quickly. It was a rush job. Nobody could really get any pressure behind the ball, and it could be won here by an advancing Cressinger off the feet there of Sainsbury. Sainsbury quickly delivered it back to his goalkeeper. Again, it goes back to Ryan again. Pressure coming on here from Ono. That forces Ryan off the right boot. Onto the chest now of Bridge. Into the centre. We'll find Moy. Left-hand side. Polak will be there for the Wanderers. Moy again on his head. The Mariners looking to find the ball. They do through Bozanic. Now Abini runs straight into Polak, so it falls for Cole for the Wanderers. McBreen wants to do some work here. He's chasing down Polak, and the Mariners have won the ball through Pedge Boach. He's away from Bridge now. He's over halfway. It's a good run by Pedge Boach. He's still away from Bridge. Pedge Boach almost in the penalty area, keeps his feet, runs in the top of Stanley, and then sticking his foot in there was Moy for the Wanderers, and that'll allow Polyak now to be dispatched on the right-hand side. There's some space for Payakubi if I can find him, and the pass is an absolute shocker towards a Payakubi, and it will be a throw to the Mariners.
Exactly, not what Western Sydney want after chasing the Mariners all that time, all the Mariners' possession. As soon as they win the ball and get a hold of it, give the ball away cheaply. That's very tiring on the body when that happens. It's demoralising indeed. I got that out.
Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
I've been so impressed by the much maligned Dino Cressinger in the opening 40 minutes. He's working his socks off for the Wanderers. He's putting all that pressure on the Mariners trying to play up from the back. He's really making it hard for them.
Sure, this crowd is also making it hard for the Mariners. What do you think the percentages are, Michael? 80-20, 70-30?
80-20 for sure, Trent. 80-20. 20% would be 10,000 for the Mariners. Wouldn't it? That would be about 8 to 10,000, so 20%.
Might be even actually giving them some there. Luke Byrne's probably the best to make that decision down there on the pitch.
I'd say 85-15.
Yes, certainly a big crowd here, and I dare say they would have gone a fair way filling a fair bit of Stadium Australia had the match been there today.
Also got a big rock festival there at the moment. I'm currently listening to Billy Joel while we watch the A-League Grand Final.
Rose on the left-hand side. Cut in now towards McGlinchey. McGlinchey stood up by 2, makes his way towards the Wanderers penalty area. Top of the penalty area now with Hutchison. On here, bit of space here for McBreen. He offers it up one more time to McGlinchey. Into the penalty area, McGlinchey across the face. We're looking for a Beanie. A foot in there by Cole. Takes the head now of Rose. Oh, Bozanic just swings the left boot around his body. Ball goes careering over the top of the Wanderers' goal into the advertising hoarding. Will be a goal kick for the Wanderers. 39 minutes gone. 0-0 the score between the Mariners and the Wanderers here in the A-League.
Very ambitious by Oli Bozanic. That would have been goal of the season if he hit that. But again, causing havoc down the left-hand side. Joshua Rose, Michael McGlinchey down there. Oli Bozanic, who's out there as well at times, really getting ahead of the right back in Pollens and Payakubi. Balls in the middle of the park, and again they're relying on the strength of Bouchamp and Topper Stanley in the middle to clear balls.
Don't you can send us an email here at the ground, football@coastfm.org.au. That's football@coastfm.org.au. Good work by the Wanderers down their left-hand side between Bridge and Cressinger, all undone though, and Bridge sees his ball go out over the touchline, and it will be a throw now to the Mariners. Still 0-0 the score here as he closes in on 40 minutes gone. We see Svonsvik under a mountain of pressure here from Paikubi. So is Ryan. And Paikubi stole the ball off Ryan. Ryan's in straight at the edge of his penalty area. And Paikubi kept going wide. Now he shoots on goal. Getting down though was Sainsbury in front of his goalkeeper to clear the ball out with his right boot. And that is why the pressure is coming on the Mariners' defensive line by the Wanderers. They know they're susceptible to a mistake.
Absolutely right. It's just been a few times in the last month or so. Matty Ryan has been almost caught out and he's waited a bit too long. And Paikubi, very, very quick. He's done a mountain of work. I'd like to keep an eye on his fitness in the second half. So quick and able to close down Matt Ryan. But again, his execution's just letting him down.
Matt Ryan continued to chase Paikubi out of the penalty area before turning around and heading back towards goal.
He probably had to with his back towards play. Pejbovic did well to defend as well.
The ball on the left-hand side now for the Mariners. It's with Rose. In towards McGlinchey. He's turned around his defender in Pollens. Crosses back. McBreen misses the ball. And Byrne shoots on goal. Kovic is down on his near post. Kovic had to make that save and make it first time. Byrne's shot was probably soft in the end.
And again, the weakness down Western Sydney's right-hand side. The Mariners finding it too easy down there. Good ball by Michael McGlinchey. You've got to say he was looking for Daniel McBreen. In the end, just a weakened shot by Byrne.
Pollens making his pressure felt, but the Mariners have won it back via Bozanic. Now on the McGlinchey. He's away from Paikubi, who's just pushed him off the ball. The referee was right there, and Paikubi has just been adjudged to have better pace there than McGlinchey over the ball and got him out of the way. Now it is with Bridge. He'll go down this left-hand side. He'll be chased by Byrne. Plays it into Bowic, then Byrne helps out. Bowic gets the ball back again. Wants to go for a run here, Bowic. John Hutchison over the ball. Offers it off one more time to Bozanic. Rose taking a touch.
I'd like to see some stats if you can get it up, Trent, in terms of possession. I think the Mariners see Daniel McBreen almost away there for the ball, but it goes all the way to Kovic. But in terms of possession, I know Western Sydney had some very strong possession quite early. I think it's swung heavily in the Mariners' favour.
Certainly have 57% of the possession in this opening 42 minutes to the Mariners.
Similar statistics to the ones that we saw at Central Coast Stadium earlier this season, where the Mariners had 60% possession.
And total dominance of that game. Ended up losing 1-0, as they did in Season 1 in this grand final in the first half against Sydney. Sydney came back in the second half.
It's all about chances, Michael, and unfortunately for the Mariners in the opening 45, they haven't taken that chance.
Absolutely right.
The ball on the left-hand side now. It is with Joshua Rose. Paikubi coming to meet him. Delivers the ball to the penalty area. He'll find McGlinchey. McGlinchey's done well. He puts it across the face of the goal. No striker there. Stajowski making his way in there now. Cole's there first, though, for the Wanderers and gets rid of the ball. The Mariners had another opportunity there. Kmet got it right, though. No one there in the centre for the yellow and blue.
Amazing run by Michael McGlinchey.
Now it's on with Rose. He's into the penalty areas, up against Pollens. Pollens puts his toe on the ball, puts it out over the goal line. That will be a corner again for the Mariners. 43 minutes gone in this first half. 0-0 the score between the Mariners and the Wanderers. Coming up at half-time, Luke Byrne.
Adam Kwasnick will join us here from the Central Coast Mariners to talk about the first half and what has been played at an amazing stadium here tonight.
Right foot corner. Michael McGlinchey to deliver here for the Mariners. Stajowski marking the goalkeeper in Kovic. Plenty of bodies in the penalty area. Now he comes in, delivers the ball off the right boot, swings in, goal! The Mariners! It's 1-0, and it's Patrick Svonsvik who gets the opening goal here at the Sydney Football Stadium. A Michael McGlinchey corner swings in, and it is number 6, Patrick Svonsvik on 44 minutes that gets the goal in the opening goal in the grand final.
And it's nothing less than what the Mariners have deserved in this 40 minutes. Nothing less than what they deserve. It's been coming. They have been dominant. Mike McGlinchey curling perfect ball. Patrick Svonsvik sailing in the air like a gazelle, high above every player. Pokes it in the back of the net, the veteran, the Dutchman. Nothing less than what the Mariners have deserved.
Luke Byrne on the touchline. The stadium, most of it went silent. A fair bit of it went up as yellow.
Yeah, the yellow end has got the goal that they much deserved over the opening 45 minutes, and it was a set piece. The Wanderers have been so good under set pieces all season. There was a beautiful ball in by McGlinchey, and Patrick Svonsvik in probably what could be his last A-League game flying through the air, putting the ball in the back of the net. Advantage Mariners.
And who was marking Patrick Zwanzijk?
Pressinger was the one who was missing.
Ball comes in here for the Wanderers. Falls towards the handball from Bowick. The crowd goes up. Waved away for the referee. He had good sight of it, the referee. He was only about 10 metres from Pedge Bowick, and there was no one on Pedge Bowick. The ball kind of dribbled down the side of his body. Referee waved it away.
What a no handball there. Looking at the replay of that, absolutely no handball, but very, very close. He's got to put his arms behind his back, Pedge Bowick, in those situations. That's where you can always be vulnerable after you score a goal, is conceding one straight away. Nearly happened there with the Mariners.
The ball now with Bozanic. There will be no need for either team to change their game plan just yet. We'll have one additional minute here at the City Football Stadium. Not sure where that 1 minute came from. Perhaps it took a while to get the restart after the goal.
Perhaps. I was chatting before the game today, some Mariners supporters, about first goal scorer, inquiring about what Patrick Zwanzijk was paying and how he'd be a possible good choice in a tight game with set pieces. And there he was. He was paying $18. Patrick Zwanzijk as first goal scorer.
Let's have a look at the Mariners this season after scoring the opening goal. They've done it. They've played 18 times where they've scored the first goal and lost once. That's right, Mark Kmet.
That's glory.
Over there in the west. Now it is with McBreen onto Rose, onside, left-hand side, shoots on goal, wide of the goal there of Ante Kovic, and it will be a goal kick. The Western Sydney Wanderers, after conceding the opening goal, they've done that 7 times and won only once.
Wow, so the odds are in the Mariners' favours, but let's not talk about leads in grand finals just yet, Trent. Still a whole half of football to go. They're going nuts, the Yellow Army, the Mariners supporters behind the goals, and so they should. What a half from the Mariners.
That is half-time here at the stadium. Patrick Zwanzijk has opened the scoring here between the Central Coast Mariners and the West Sydney Wanderers. So as the teams go in at half-time, it is 1-0. The Mariners lead the Wanderers here on Coast FM 963. We'll come back shortly after this break and the half-time show with Luke Byrne and Michael Kmet here on Coast FM 963.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Adam, obviously for the Central Coast Mariners, taking that lead, it's all important, but they must continue to press.
Yeah, that's right. Don't change anything. Just continue to play and stick to the game plan. And, 45 minutes away from greatness.
45 minutes, the Mariners have had the lead in the past, but I don't think they've been so dominant in the game. Like you said, McGlinchey was important, but I thought the job John Hutchinson did on Shinji Ono has shaped this one.
Yeah, Shinji's been quiet at the moment, and that's due to our defensive structure. We're getting a lot of joy once we get good possession of the ball. We're getting joy down both left and right hand sides, as I said, and Hutch is a big part of that, building up play, and so far so good.
I was just going to ask Quasi Jerome Pollens. He was a real risk of playing with injury, and he looked like he picked up a groin injury. Him and Apaya Kubi are really struggling to hold that left-hand side, particularly when Joshua Rose marauds forward.
Yeah, I think going forward they're looking all right, but they're not Kawuba, he's not really a defender, so Rosie's running over the top of him, and Rosie's got engines that will go for 120 minutes, so I think we'll get a lot more joy in the second half down that left-hand side.
Apaya Kubi probably created the biggest sensation of the half when he put Matt Ryan under pressure, trying to play out from the back. Ryan's been so successful this season, but the Wanderers press a lot higher than most other teams.
Yeah, I think they're going for it a bit more in this game. I think usually they're defensively set up pretty sound and strong, and they're starting to press in vital areas, trying to pinch that ball back, but we're handling it well, and like I said, 45 minutes to go.
What do you think Graham Arnold will be saying in the sheds right now?
Oh, look, he'd be cool and calm, and he'd be settling the players down. A goal just before half-time was massive, and he's just going to say stick to the game plan, and the boys will be quietly confident if they stick to it that the game's ours.
Adam, we haven't had a chance to talk to you for a long time. I know you've been out since, I think, around January where you got injured. Just talk us through the injury and tell us how the recovery process is going.
So far, so good. I'm a bit behind. Basically, had a bit of damage to the bone in the knee, and they basically had to clean it out and basically fix it up in there. And it's a long process, but I'm happy with where it's at. And Andrew Neal in the club physio, he's working me hard, and hopefully I'll be back for the start of pre-season next year.
Now, before kick-off, Michael and myself were talking about you because you walked past us, and we were wondering about your situation for next season, knowing that you were coming off contract. Just tell the fans what's happening with yourself personally.
Yeah, I just, in January I signed basically a new 2-year deal, which I was very happy about. It was unfortunate what happened, but that's football, with the injuries, and, I'm just trying to bust my nut to get back out there, and, the boys have done sensational this year, and for me personally, next year I want to continue the same thing.
Quasi, Quasi, you've been here since season 1. Obviously, you had that season away at New Zealand, but you've been there. You've seen the first loss of the grand final, been there in subsequent losses, scored in the grand final in Brisbane. What does this actually mean to the boys to arrest those demons and to get the victory tonight?
Oh, look, it's... I'm not going to lie, it's heard on every occasion that we've been in the grand final, and there's no hiding that. There was a different feeling heading into this week, being grand final week, and the boys, they look sharp, they look really relaxed, and that was a difference. In previous years, we've had that bit of nervousness, and there was a lot of tension going into the game, but that wasn't the case this week, and I believe that first half that showed how relaxed we were and playing some great football. What would it mean to go on and win it? It'd mean absolutely everything, not only to the coaches and players, but to the fans and the Central Coast community who, I believe absolutely deserve, to win a championship.
For the Central Coast fans, obviously they're outnumbered, but they're as loud as the red and black block here tonight, and they're creating a lot of noise, and a lot have come down from the Central Coast. Yeah, absolutely. They've been, phenomenal over the last 8 years, not only this year. They've come out in numbers to support us today, and as they always have throughout the years, and we owe them one basically for sticking by us, and hopefully the next 45 minutes we'll give them one. Now, looking forward for the Central Coast Mariners, there's a quick turnaround Tuesday night. They're playing in Korea, 11-hour plane ride tomorrow for the players. How is Arnie looking towards that? Do you think he'll change the squad over?
Look, I can't be too sure what he's going to do. I think, we'll just get through this 45 minutes first. He's hungry to progress through the next stage of the Asian Champions League, so we'll just have to see how this game plans out. He'd have something in his mind, no doubt, and he keeps his cards pretty close to his chest, so we'll have to wait and see. So the players talk about this could be the end of an era for the Mariners, including a lot of players moving on. Looks like some of the young players have got ambition to go overseas. Some of the older players are getting close to the age of retirement. Graham Arnold might not be here next year. Do you get the sense that some of the players think this is their time? Yeah, I think, the players have always stuck together through, season 1 through to season 8, regardless of the players we've got. We've always been close. I don't think it'd be the end of an era, although a few players will move on, a few young boys who've been sensational for us. But, if Arnie goes, it'll be a big loss. But it could be the start of something special if we get one over the line tonight and hopefully start a dynasty. Confident you'll finish this job? Oh, mate, a few years ago I thought it was just about done, but, football's a funny game and it can hurt, at various stages throughout the game. So I'm quietly confident in the boys, but I don't want to say too much, so we'll just wait until the end. Adam Kosnick, thanks for joining us here on Coast FM 963. Good luck with the injury. Let's hope to see you back in Season 9 of the A-League. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Adam Kosnick here on Coast FM 963. We'll take a short break here at the Sydney Football Stadium. The Mariners 1, lead the Wanderers 0.
At half-time, when the Mariners chomp into a big, juicy piece of fruit, it's been supplied by Fruit for All. From day one, they've been supplying the Mariners with only the best variety and quality. And it's the same when you shop at Fruit for All in Tumby Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. Nick, Tony and Angelo pride themselves on supplying the freshest and finest fruit and veggies, whether it's to restaurants and caterers or to you. Open from 7 every morning, Fruit for All, Tumby Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. They love their football, but best of all, they love their fruit.
A station sponsor.
When you've been in real estate for over 40 years, you make a lot of contacts, and that's how it is with Rain and Horn Gosford. Every day they're working to find the right buyer for your property. And with a wealth of experience and local knowledge, you're in good hands. Rain and Horn Gosford is family owned by Jeff and Sue Tilden, proud of their many industry awards for customer care. Buying, selling, renting. Call Rain and Horn Real Estate in the centre of Gosford, 4324 7744.
Station sponsor.
As the Gosford City Town Crier, I've spent a lot of time at the Imperial Centre, and in a way, as I look around, it reminds me of being at home. It's just big enough to be comfortable, but not so huge that you get frustrated. It's a friendly place. You see familiar faces, people smile and talk, and everyone's just being themselves, doing their everyday thing, getting what they need quickly and easily. The Imperial Centre Gosford. Comfortable, easy, just like home.
The Imperial Shopping Centre.
A station sponsor.
Bluetongue Stadium is proud to sponsor the Mariners live call on Coast FM. Join Bluetongue Stadium on Facebook to find out what's happening, including all their upcoming events and latest news. Check out their website at www.bluetonguestadium.com.au. Bluetongue Stadium is a proud sponsor of the Mariners live football call on Coast FM.
Welcome back to the Sydney Football Stadium. Players have come back onto the field. Peter Green's in the middle. We're ready for kick-off. The Mariners 1 lead the Wanderers 0. A goal to Patrick Sponsvike on 43 minutes. The difference between the two sides. Let's hand over to Trent Dickinson and Michael Kmet for the second half of the Season 8 A-League Grand Final.
Thank you very much there to Luke Byrne. Tell you what, everybody gets on their mobile phones at half-time, and I don't think Telstra's quite got the network sorted out just on the outskirts here of Sydney.
Oh, apologies for dropping out then. We've got the latest technology too in what we have, and still everyone getting on the phone has dropped us out. We've gone back to snail, not snail mail, but snail coverage. The reliable hardware phone lines.
The old telephone line, the old copper. Bring on the NBN. At the moment, the Mariners standing over the ball there. 1 goal to good, and they have the kick-off. They will be running towards the Western Sydney Wanderers fans for this second stanza of the match. We're almost in readiness here. Referee Peter Green just checking with the host broadcaster when he can get this match underway. And I think he's been given that signal. And there it is. And we're away here for second half action. The Central Coast Mariners and the Western Sydney Wanderers. The Mariners 1 goal to the good, care of Patrick Sponsvike on the 44th minute. The difference between these two teams at the moment, as we see Sainsbury under plenty of pressure there from Cressinger, forced out over the touchline.
Yeah, it's again Cressinger left off where he started in that first half, the very high press, and even the composure of Sainsbury there couldn't help him out with such pressure.
Luke Byrne, what was said at half-time in the sheds?
Yeah, Phil Moss wasn't too pleased with the way the Mariners have played. He really wants them to use the channels a lot more, get in behind the Wanderers and just continue to lift the tempo. They said that they're not too happy with the pitch, but the players have to adjust and really make sure this is the final 45 minutes of the season and make sure they get the victory.
Hard taskmaster, isn't he?
We see Ryan have to come quickly off his line to claim the ball in front of Shinji Ono. He does so. And the Mariners now work it out of the middle of the field. Just a shot rang out.
Work.
Sounded like a firecracker of some description. The right-hand side now. The ball with Pedge Bowick. He's standing over the football. Abini's gone the right-hand side of him. That drags Cole away. Now McBreen. 18 goals this season so far, Daniel McBreen. And the A-League Golden Boot. We see Joshua Rose. He loses possession. In the back here of Pollens. He's still on the field. The number 6 survived half-time.
Another shocker, isn't he?
With the groin. No changes, either team. The ball back now with the skipper in John Hutchison. In towards McBreen. Right-hand side now. Being cut in with Pedge Bowick. McBreen shoots towards goal. Shot was deflected away by Bouchop. Now Piakubi pushing hard to win the ball here off McGlinchey. McGlinchey tries to play the ball out from the touchline. He plays it out over the touchline and a throw in for the Wanderers.
Daniel McBreen was staring at the situation where he scored last week, and it was right in front of goal. He just took an extra touch on the ball to unleash, and in the end he was well closed down. Daniel McBreen.
The throw comes in and to be dealt with by Sainsbury. Once more, pass on to Bozanic. Now McGlinchey, closed down by 3. McGlinchey gets a touch on his toes into the centre circle. Fought over by Hutchison. It can go one more time, and it does to Pedge Bowick. He'll have to go back to his goalkeeper now in Ryan. And this time, the Wanderers don't close down on Matt Ryan.
Yeah, quite incredible. Just letting them go at the moment. The Mariners are now happy delivering the ball left and right. They've got control of the game. As long as they got possession in this game, which is blown out to a massive 58%, Wanderers can't score.
1-0 to score the Mariners over the Wanderers here on Coast FM 963 with Trent, Dickinson, Michael Kmet and Luke Byrne bringing you the A-League Grand Final, the 12 for 13. Now Sainsbury's closed down by 2, goes back to Ryan, must go long off the right boot, does to a bobbling ball, will come down right on halfway. Under it was Moy and McBreen. McBreen won the ball for the Mariners, brought it down to McGlinchey, once more onto Bozanic. Now McBreen with the ball, turns it, 2 around him, goes left-hand side, plays on to Rose, has to stop his run to chase it, but gets there in the end. Rose, top of the penalty area, plays it back now towards McBreen, turns it around his body, goes to Bozanic, across to the right-hand side, chest to Bowick, straight down to Hutchison. Ono comes to close down, can't do so. Now it's with Bozanic. He finds Bowick on that right-hand side. He brings it down. Bowick has one in front of him. It is Cole. Plays a short ball to Abini. In front of Abini will be the number 8 in Pollack. Still the Mariners are in possession. Happy to play possession football. Bowick makes his way down the right wing. Cole in front of him. Nutmegs Cole, gets around him, plays it back to the top of the penalty area. McBreen puts it in the centre, looking for anyone. Stajowski was there. They're happy to take the corner here, the Mariners. 49 minutes gone, 1-0 to score. The Mariners over the Wanderers.
Dominant possession again by the Mariners. Again, Pedge Bowick down that right-hand side, making a fool of Shannon Cole. Thought he was going to unleash there, Daniel McBreen. Put the cross. He was looking Millie. Stajowski ghosting on the far post. In the end, the Mariners get a corner and they keep heaping the pressure on.
Right foot corner played out towards Joshua Rose. Then across on the left-hand side, picks out Oliver Bozanic, goes in towards the back post. Topple Stanley has to concede the corner because closing on him was Trent Sainsbury on that back post. Topple Stanley happy to concede the corner in the end, and it will be a corner delivered by Oliver Bozanic. We crossed to Luke Byrne, the touchline, with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
As the noise just starts to lift, I was going to say, I haven't heard this crowd this quiet since the goal and even all day, because the Wanderers fans are really at the moment just stunned that the Mariners are in front.
Well, that'll make 85% of the stadium stunned at the moment of this near capacity crowd. Corner will come in here by the Mariners. It'll be a left foot corner. It'll swing in towards the Wanderers goal. Set piece again, dangerous for the Mariners. Headed clear this time by Bridge. Out towards Hutchison. Goes back once more onto a Rose. Left-hand side to McGlinchey. He can't keep it inside of Piakubi. And it'll be cleared away now by Cressinger. Cressinger does well. Oh, that'll be a yellow card there. Has to be to Michael McGlinchey. Straight in the back there of Cressinger to slow him down. Yellow ticket comes out of the pocket of referee Peter Green.
Took one for the team there. Michael McGlinchey is just a blatant hack from behind. He was away. Cressinger has done really, really well tonight. He's on his way forward. I don't think they had much options going forward, but even so, he couldn't take that risk. Michael McGlinchey, they'll be happy to slow the game down in the second half. There's no doubt about it. The Mariners, as they go forward, they'll be happy to slow as much as possible, even take the odd yellow card. How much will they learn from past errors when it comes to slowing the play down in grand finals?
The Mariners are stole on the right-hand side as we stated, up over halfway. Under it will be coming Stajowski. He brings it down. Topple Stanley, though, quickly with the right boot, puts it out over the touchline on the eastern side here of the Sydney Football Stadium. Quick throw in to Abini. 2 around him. Abini runs towards them. Offers the ball out one more time. Abini gets it back. He'll play the ball towards the goal line of the Wanderers, out for a goal kick. 52 minutes gone. 1-0 to score. The Mariners over the Wanderers. Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
Ono's still unsighted here tonight, but you just know with the quality that he has, if John Hutchinson doesn't continue to wear him like a glove, he could be the one who breaks open the Mariners' defence. Just having a look, there's a lot of talk on the Wanderers bench at the moment. Wouldn't it be surprised if Faliti comes shortly?
McBreen's up against Topple Stanley here, trying to get in front of him. McBreen, he does eventually. He stretches right out. Looks like they've both injured themselves, both McBreen and Topple Stanley. McBreen struggling to get to his feet. Topple Stanley is to his feet now and running away from the scene. Kovic claimed a soft ball in the end. Right-hand side, the ball, he falls for Pollens. Pollens makes his way and puts the ball towards the penalty area. Cleared away by Svensvik up towards halfway.
Just keep an eye on Daniel McBreen. He's just limping a little bit. I know he's been carrying a groin injury.
Oh, Mitchell Duke will be licking his lips. Absolutely. The ball on the right-hand side now to the Piakubi for the Wanderers. He turns inside, Rose gets towards the penalty area, cross comes in on the penalty spot, going down, grabbing his face there. Was it Bridge?
Bridge,
Yeah, it was. Not sure why.
I think he was chopped from behind.
He wanted the penalty.
Okay, Bridge now, ball top of the penalty area, feeds it through, looking towards Cressinger. Standing firm, though, was Sponsdyke. Wanderers in good position, and they've still got the football. It is with Topper Stanley, back into the centre circle. Goes Bouchon one more time, right-hand side, towards Pollens. Apai-Kubi keeping the ball in play, gets away from Rose. Apai-Kubi keeps going into the penalty area. Apai-Kubi into the penalty area. Went to shoot on the near post. Mariners snuffed the shot and they got it out to McGlinchey, who's being held back at the moment there by Moy. And eventually Moy puts the ball out over the touchline right in front of the Wanderers' technical area. Still 1-0 the score. The Mariners over the Wanderers. 54 minutes gone here at the Sydney Football Stadium.
How many times we've seen that tonight with Apai-Kubi just getting through, having the pace, having the electric speed to get past his defender, but just not having the technical ability in the end to deliver the right ball or to overrun the ball. Tell you what, he's such a dynamic player. If he can work a little bit on his technique and his ability to take on players, he could be anything, this lad.
Ono with the ball at the moment. Plays it across the back line. He'll find Cole out there for the Wanderers. Cole crosses halfway. Eventually Beanie now comes to cut the angle down. Plays the ball square back into the centre. The floodlights are taking full effect here now at the Sydney Football Stadium. Moy with the football. Down towards Apai-Kubi. Out once more towards Pollens. Pollens delivers the cross. Now it's too big for everyone, and Matt Ryan's happy to watch it go out over the goal line, up past the far post, and it will be a goal kick to the Mariners. 55 minutes gone. 1-0 the score. The Mariners over the Wanderers, with thanks to Blue Tongue Stadium. Luke Byrne on the touchline, with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
The Mariners and Josh Rose at the moment, they've got to be very careful because a lot of traffic's coming down this right-hand side for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Apai-Kubi and Jerome Pollens haven't had the quality yet, but we know that it's there.
Yeah, and they've just lifted the foot off the accelerator a little bit. The Mariners are allowed Western Sydney back on this game. It's too early in this half to start trying to close up the match.
This is certainly true. There's still over 35 minutes remaining. The ball on halfway now. It is with the Western Sydney Wanderers. Towards Apai-Kubi. Bringing him down there was Michael McGlinchey. Free kick to the Wanderers. Over the ball, Apai-Kubi is going to be left for Ono. The free kick is 26 metres short of the Mariners' goal line, but it's only 5 metres inside the Western touchline.
Very rough free kick, I think, right in front of you, Luke. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought play on.
So, over the top of the ball goes Moy. Ono strikes it off the right boot, delivers it right onto the penalty spot. Mariners getting back through Bowich to head clear over the touchline here on the western side of the Sydney Football Stadium. A throw-in to be taken by Pollens. He throws it on towards Ono. Pollens gets it back because Ono drew two. Left foot shot towards a Ryan near post. Got down low, smothered the ball there. First take, Matt Ryan advances to the edge of his penalty area.
Matty Ryan was having visions of Enrique ghosting in that near post in that grand final 2 seasons ago. This time he had his near post well covered.
The ball now on halfway with Hutchison. Back to Sainsbury. Hutchison, plenty of pressure from the back on the back three by the Wanderers. They go back to Ryan. Plenty of pressure on Ryan there from Cressinger. Eventually goes long and up to halfway. Bouchon won the header. And then Pollens came through with the second ball. Takes the head now of Sainsbury. Mariners still in possession though. And it's back with that back three again. It means the Wanderers will close down through Ono. Again, Ryan puts on his left boot. He plays along the ground. Horrible ball there by Matt Ryan. The Wanderers, though, have played it out over the touchline on the western side. And it will be a throw now to Joshua Rose.
Nervous times. The way Western Sydney are closing down so quickly. By the time Matt Ryan gets the ball, it takes an eternity to get rid of it. Absolutely nervous times.
Now, Abini puts the ball on halfway. Up goes Bouchon. He wins the ball. Then Abini gets the seconds in front of Pollens. He plays it though. Pollens gets his in front of it again and plays it out to Cole right on halfway, heading towards the eastern side of Sydney Football Stadium. Comes across again towards Moy. Now Apai-Kubi. In his back there was Joshua Rose from the Mariners. Wanderers still in possession. It is with Pollens. And the Wanderers just happy to hold possession now. Their own side of halfway. Their fans still in full voice down there at the northern end. The fans, though, on the eastern side. not as active as those at the northern end, as we see a foot race here between Topple Stanley and look to be Bowych. Topple Stanley wins it and goes back to his goalkeeper in Kovic, who comes out of his penalty area to play the ball to his skipper in Bouchon.
Had a good 10 metres on a Pech Bowych marauding forward, was always going to get that Topple Stanley. More and more possession, the Mariners are sitting more and more back. Don't park the bus now, Central Coast. Don't park the bus.
The ball on the right-hand side, Pollens, he wants to cut it back inside. Tracking him is McGlinchey into the penalty area now. Piakubi straight back out towards Pollens. This could be dangerous. Pollens delivers the cross. Up they go down. Oh no, back post, shoots on goal. Across the face again. No one there to poke it in this time for the Wanderers. And it's gone out over the touchline here on the western side. Throw into the Mariners. Deflection in the end there. Nervous times if you're dressed in yellow. The ball here with the Wanderers still. Moy taken though by McBreen. Quick ball on to Stajowski. McBreen away from Moy. Then he goes down. And Graham Arnold absolutely barking orders there at Michael McGlinchey. McBreen going down on the challenge of Moy. Asks for a yellow card similar to the one that was issued to McGlinchey. Watching a replay of the Cressinger header.
Nearly a penalty there. Pech Bowych arms at his back. That's what he's going off about.
Michael, I'm sorry, just a big change here by Graham Arnold, and it's not with players, but Michael McGlinchey's gone right. Byrne Abini's come left now, so they're trying to get a little bit more pace on this left-hand side defensively to track Pollens and a Piakubi.
Okay.
Good move. I think Graham Arnold, tactically, he can get back. He certainly has the pace there. He'll give Michael McGlinchey room to actually move forward and attack more on that right-hand side.
Throw in here for the Wanderers from the western side. We'll see this change in players. Same formation, different personnel slotting into the positions now. See the Wanderers approaching halfway. It is with Bouchon, and McBreen takes him in the back. Michael Bouchon gives McBreen what for as he walks away. Bouchon chases McBreen down. Interesting to see that match up between those two. I think either of them give up anything on each other.
Got the better of Michael Bouchon at times. The Mariners, remember when he played Melbourne Heart, there was a bit of niggle between Adam Kwasnik at the time and Michael Bouchon, and he really exploded. Maybe see him as a bit of a hothead. Michael Bouchon, want to be careful though. Daniel McBreen as well.
They certainly do see that. Free kick here to the Wanderers. Will be taken by Moy. It's cut straight across the park into the centre. On the face there, or on the head there, I should say, of Topple Stanley. It surprised him. His head flicked back as he placed their header on. Still the Wanderers in possession. It's back with Polyak. Goes all the way back to Kovic, who's been a bit quiet in this second half. 61 minutes gone, 1-0 to score. The Mariners over the Wanderers here on Coast FM 963. A-League Grand Final 2012-2013. Joshua Rose happy to shepherd the ball out, and it will be a goal kick here for the Mariners. There was some question about whether that was going to be a corner, and the Mariners happy to see as a goal kick as we cross to Luke Byrne the touchline with thanks to Fruit for All, Berkeley-Vale.
Graham Allen's having a chat to Mitchell Duke at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised if Daniel McBreen or Byrne Abini come off. Abini looks like he's struggling a little bit, but McBreen's been hobbling for about 10 minutes.
Surely you'd put Fitzgerald in Byrne Abini's spot, and it's got to be Daniel McBreen or Mile Stajowski.
Stajowski trying to get away from his marker there in Pollens. He went to ground in the end, but the Mariners have earned the ball back in midfield through Abini. Now looking towards McBreen, wasn't able to get there. Rose will see the ball in the back though. Piakubi's got it for the Wanderers, and they're over halfway through. Ono now Kazanic thought about fouling him, but he got rid of the ball quickly to a Piakubi delivers the cross. Easy pickings there for Matt Ryan. Nobody had gone far post, and Matt Ryan takes the ball for the Mariners.
Looks like Mile Stajowski's going to get the ball. What a great ball by Matt Ryan out to Mile Stajowski there. It's turned defence into attack with a blink of the eye. It's worrying signs for the Mariners though. They're getting pinned more and more back. It's now or never. We talked about it before the game, but it is now. The Mariners, they can't get away with the win here. They'll have that choking tag for a very long time. I think they have to arrest the Demons in tonight's grand final.
The ball on halfway now with Swanslyke. He went to go long. Wanderers get a head on the ball though. Put it out over the western touchline. Throw in taken quickly by the Mariners. Not great control. Plenty of pressure being piled on here by Bridge on Sainsbury. And unlike Vidmar, Sainsbury turns Bridge around and gets rid of the ball.
It's Trent. Mentioned Tony Vidmar in the grand final over here at Sydney Football Stadium. You're absolutely right. He turned quite casually against Mark Bridge.
Ball through here towards Stajowski. Stajowski, lots of eyes for the ball. He gets around, shoots on goal, just over the top. Had to take a swipe there. Kovic, and I guess it was Bouchon who did all the good work there on Stajowski, because Stajowski had nothing but eyes for the ball, and then Bouchon could watch him inside. He did get around him in the end, and I guess he had a free shot on goal there. Stajowski, an adjustment over the crossbar of Ante Kovic.
What a ball by Patrick Zonside. I think for the journalists tonight, Mariners get a win. He's on his way to get the Joe Marston medal here. There's been some worthy recipients so far in Mariners colours. Just with pure fact he scored that goal. It's going to put him as favourite. Really, Stajowski did very, very well there to get across the blue shot. Just couldn't hold the ball down for the shot. Just sailing over the bar, and Kovic had that well covered.
64 minutes gone. 1-0 the score. The Mariners over the Wanderers here on Coast FM 963. And thanks to the Blue Tongue Stadium, the ball now with McGlinchey onto Hutchison. Approaches halfway. Hutchison once more. McBreen, right hand side. The Mariners in possession. Play it back now towards Bowick. Dispossessed by Bridge. Played back to Topple Stanley. Topple Stanley across the right hand side towards Bouchon. And it'll go one more time towards Pollins. And it looks like Luke down there, it looks like they're going to make their first change. That's the Wanderers.
Yeah, Labano Haliti getting ready for the Western Sydney Wanderers. I would think a Paicubi would be the play to come off.
Left-hand side, Ono with the ball put out over the goal line by the Mariners. Conceding the corner there, Trent Sainsbury.
They want to put him up for a corner here, surely, to get Labano Haliti up for the set piece. Looks like it won't happen. Just another sign that ascendancy's coming Western Sydney's way.
65 minutes gone, 1-0 the score. Mariners over the Wanderers. Wanderers, though, with a corner, right foot corner from Ono. Ryan's under plenty of pressure, can't get a good punch on the ball. And then it's cleared out by Joshua Rose for the Mariners. Now Ono in possession again. And that left-hand or eastern side put in behind. Cross comes in. Pressinger's there. Ryan, though, does exceptionally well. Running backwards, jumps, tips it over the crossbar, and concedes a corner, but more importantly, stops any heads following the ball.
Absolutely right. Luke, correct me if I'm wrong, but around that 65-minute mark, it's a bit of a hoodoo time for the Mariners in the grand final, particularly the first two grand finals.
I think the first one was about 55, 56, and the second one was in the 60th, somewhere around there.
Okay, Ono corner again, right foot, swing away from the Ryan goal. Ryan stays where he is. Mariners win a header through Sponsdyke. It's now, though, with Pollins. It's one, though, by Abini onto Stajowski or Hutchison. It looks Hutchison. It is Hutchison's running style. He runs into plenty of traffic. Abini's wide on the left. He was looking for that support. He did find it in the end. Side on there. Hutchison and Stajowski looking very similar. The ball now with Abini. Oh, big push in the back there on Abini. Referee sounds his whistle. It was a number 8 in Kolyak. That should allow the Wanderers to make their substitution. They will. They're going to bring on the number 7, Labano Haliti, and take off Dino Pressinger.
Big move. I suppose he hasn't done anything in the second half, Dino Pressinger. More of a pest in the first half. They've got to want to be careful with Haliti. Other side of the park, I think Mile Stajowski is dead off his feet. He's really struggling to get in support. Same as Daniel McBreen, to get in support once the Mariners were breaking. They didn't break anywhere near as quickly there as they normally do.
The ball in the centre circle. Another foul. That time it was Bridge.
He's a legend at that, isn't he?
God. That was, he certainly set himself up for it, that's for sure.
The Mariners take the free kick quickly. McBreen to the penalty area, trying to chase away the ball. It's coming into the penalty area. McBreen brings it down. And ball, penalty! Mariners earn a penalty here, and it's the 66th minute, and the Mariners earn a penalty. The ball bouncing into the hand of one of the Wanderers players. Michael Bouchon goes to argue the toss. In fact, it makes that 67 minutes, and Pollins in all sorts of trouble.
It's absolutely trouble. That's Daniel McBreen on the ball. Pollins got to get a yellow card here for that. Ball went up in the air. Just flicked with the hands of Pollins, no doubt about it. Cannot argue that wasn't a yellow card.
Was going to go straight to McBreen.
He's had an absolute nightmare of the game, and all fingers have to be pointed to Coach Tony Popovich for letting him play when he was in so much doubt. He's there on the field. Shannon Cole
playing Flair policeman throws it back at the security force. That's
Well done, Shannon Cole.
takes the initiative there.
If I was a Western Sydney player, I'd let that go. Daniel McBreen up for the penalty.
He comes in, he strikes it. Go! He makes no mistake, Daniel McBreen. 2-0 on 68 minutes. The Mariners taking the lead here. McBreen goes straight to the corner, celebrates. The fans go crazy here. Plenty of things rolling onto the ground. But the Mariners are 2-0 up here in the grand final. We've said that before in Brisbane. We're going to say it again here. But with 22 minutes to play, the Mariners are 2 goals to the good.
And it does not get a better penalty than that. Daniel McBreen, left foot. Ante Kovic goes the wrong way, slots it. Top corner, Daniel McBreen. No goalkeeper in the world would have saved that penalty. Under pressure, Daniel McBreen. All the demons that the Mariners have had in front of the penalty spot, the demons that Daniel McBreen have had in front of the penalty spot, he slotted that absolutely beautifully.
Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Rain and Horn-Gosford.
That's the first penalty Ante Kovic has conceded all season, and what a penalty it was by Daniel McBreen, right in the corner. The Mariners at the moment are playing some fantastic football here at the Sydney Football Stadium.
Apaya Kubi now with the ball for the Wanderers. Let's be a goal kick for the Mariners. He's been run out over the goal line there by a beanie. 2-0, dangerous score in football.
It is for the Mariners in a grand final. But I tell you what, they'd rather be 2-0 up after 70 minutes than 2-0 down. They just can't park the bus, the Mariners here. Cannot park the bus. They've got to keep going.
You get the feeling they need that third goal, don't you, Michael?
Absolutely. A third goal will kill the game. There's no doubt about it. Where's the firepower going to come from Western Sydney?
Mariners are in possession. It's with Joshua Rose. The play on the right-hand side looking towards Apaya Kubi now. The Western Sydney Wanderers gain possession. Mariners, though, win the throw. So they'll get another opportunity to use the football. It is 1-0, 2-0 the good Mariners.
Adrenaline.
A goal in each half here for the runners-up this year. After 27 rounds of football, finishing in second place. Coming into this match, as we see McBreen down the left-hand side. Eventually, Beauchamp stopped him. And Beauchamp turns towards the referee and gives an absolute serve again.
Yeah, Daniel McBreen left a nice foot in there for that one.
Referee should have pulled that up. They're at it again, those two. Daniel McBreen's probably pointing to the scoreboard. Don't want to do that this early.
So it's another substitute getting ready here for the Wanderers, Luke Byrne.
Yeah, Tarek Elridge looks like he's the man. I'll assume Jerome Pollens will be the player off.
We see McBreen come through into Kovic, and he's cleaned up Ante Kovic. Absolutely cleaning up and earned a yellow card for it. Daniel McBreen. Ante Kovic claiming the ball. McBreen saying that he slipped. And that'll now a substitution to be made.
I was going to say, I think that's a poor decision. You can see all the dirt and all the mud flick up off Daniel McBreen. He was pulling up. He just couldn't pull up in time.
Doesn't really matter, though. You've got to play to the conditions.
Yeah, that's right. Got to play the conditions. And you did come through. The momentum pulled him through. He did foul the player. So, I don't know what problem Ante Kovic has now. This will play all in the Mariners' hands.
The second substitute's been made by the Wanderers. Apaya Kubi's come from the field. He's been replaced there by Tarek Elridge.
Sorry, Michael. Tarek Elridge going to that right winger position.
A position he was familiar with in his final days in Newcastle. Had a great season there, playing in right midfield, so he would not be unfamiliar in playing that Tarek Elridge.
And Mitchell Duke ready for action for the Mariners.
Say that's Sturjowski or Daniel McBreen. What do you think, Luke? I think it's still Sturjowski.
Sturjowski, I think McBreen's got to stay on, even though he's got a card. He's the workhorse.
72 minutes gone here. 2-0 the score, the Mariners over the Wanderers. The Wanderers, though, in possession down the left-hand side. Goals to Patrick Sponspike and Daniel McBreen. The difference between the two teams at the moment. Daniel McBreen, 19 goals this season, as we see Mile Sturjowski make his way from the field in the 73rd minute.
It'll take plenty of time. He's done his job, Mile Sturjowski, particularly in that first half as he gets clapped off. The time is off. Referee said, I'm pulling time down. It's giving the supporters a clap. Won't he cause grief now? Mitchell Duke as he comes on. The first sub that the Mariners want to put on. It's the 70th minute. It's a fantastic sign for them. And it's Mitchell Duke against a tiring Michael Bouchon, a tiring Nikolai Topper-Stanley. He is going to run his socks off, Mitchell Duke.
Certainly is. Throw comes in here from the Wanderers. They're out over on the eastern side of the Sydney Football Stadium. Still some flares. Byrne at the northern end for the Wanderers. You can send us an email here at the ground, football@coastfm.org.au. That's football@coastfm.org.au. Tonight's attendance, 42,102.
Wow, that's a massive crowd as we look across. Hardly any seats left. Just in front of us, a few members' seats. That's an absolutely fantastic work, both set of supporters.
Elrich does well, feeds the ball to Pollens. Cross comes in, pulled back towards the top of the penalty area. Not forthcoming. Bridge can't keep control of it. Sainsbury plays it into Bridge out over the western touchline.
Just got a tweet from Alan McFarlane. He's asked the commentary team how we're feeling. That's the worst question you can ask, Alan. The adrenaline is absolutely pumping, but there's just so much apprehension because of what happened in season 5.
The ball has been free kick has been awarded here to the Mariners. The Mariners taking their time waiting to receive it from Ono. 75 minutes gone here, and some of the crowd start to leave here at the City Football Stadium. Well, they're from the members area, so I don't think they're real football fans.
That's true.
Long ball here from Swan Spike. Up there towards Duke. Plenty of running straight away from the number 19 for the Mariners. Does his best work a minute or two after he comes onto the field to play. Tarek Elrich does well to keep the ball in play. Puts with the centre and finds Labano Haliti. Haliti offers it back to Elrich. Ball beats Elrich out over the touchline. Throw in for the Mariners.
Just some footage of Graham Arnold. He's in a zone. He doesn't want to believe the scoreline. He doesn't want to preempt anything here tonight. Graham Arnold is sitting there in a meditative state.
Still, the Wanderers in possession. Topple-Stanley with the football.
Last sub looks like coming up for Western Sydney. Rocco Visconti, the ex-Brisbane boy, ex-Brisbane Royal player, will know about winning grand finals in this situation.
Yes, did it with more time on the board than this. There's still 15 minutes remaining here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Plenty of time for the Wanderers. The ball through here, the Mariners doing well through Hutchison, diving at the feet there of Tarek Elrich, who eventually gets his shot away. One bounce into the midst there of Matt Ryan, all in pink. Tell you what, Daniel McBreen will be absolutely screaming for the ball to get 20 for the season, currently on 19 goals and in the grand final.
Oh, won't he what? Probably should have. As we see Trent Sainsbury coolly going past Haliti, but he really won. He should have had 20 by now with the penalties he's missed. Thought that was a Western Sydney ball.
Throw in for the Mariners on halfway, eastern side. That'll allow the Wanderers to make their third and final substitution. It will be Pollens making way the number 6 for the number 16, Rocky Visconti.
That ends an absolute nightmare of the night for Jerome Pollens. He was torn a big one by Joshua Rose and Michael McGlinchey in the first half. Gave away the obvious penalty. He's distraught. As I said, fingers pointed to Tony Popovich. He shouldn't have started tonight, but he did, and that was the result.
We'll see him down the left-hand side, the Wanderers. Doing well into the penalty area, coming across. Matt Ryan comes there to the goal area and claims the ball. It was Labano Haliti making his way through that time. Ryan clears at the right-hand side. McGlinchey trying to get himself towards the ball. Topple-Stanley wins it, though, for the Wanderers. It's going to be one back by Hutchison and Pejpovic. They try and play it inside the Wanderers' defence. They just tow it out over the ball.
Shingiano is just walking around distraught. That's where you need his experience, his leadership in these situations. Has had a really benign effect on this game.
Ball on over halfway now with the Wanderers. Trying to play it through the Mariners' defensive line. Sainsbury stands firm. Now Duke trying to win the ball back. Topple-Stanley does well, though, for the Wanderers. They're advancing on the left-hand side. Ono delivers a great ball flat, but Sainsbury stood firm in front of Labano Haliti. Has there been offside tonight? Can you recall one?
No, I can't recall any offsides.
So
It's going to be a yellow card
free
to
kick.
Pej Bowic.
Free kick awarded to the Wanderers. I think he would have it out by now if it was going to be a yellow card. Will be a free kick to the Wanderers that will be 6 metres short at the Mariners goal line, but it'll only be 5 metres in from the eastern touchline.
Rocky Visconti making an immediate effect on this game, getting through Pej Bowic right through his legs. A bit of a dive, I've got to say, in the end. I don't know why he'd do that when he's on his way through. Nervous times for Mariners.
No offsides in this match. Oh no, delivers the ball. Ryan stays where he is. Up goes Topple Stanley. It's won though by Sainsbury. Out the back towards Cole. Cole into the penalty area now. Running through. Rose toes over. No. Cole does. Goal kick. Cole goes and delivers the ball for Matt Ryan, who goes and grabs a drink from deep in his net. He knows how to waste time with the best of them. Matt Ryan.
It's Trent Sainsbury been tonight in defence. Mariners going to miss him, if word is correct. He moves on next season. He's been in the midst of everything. He took it. All these players have put their hands up for the Joe Marston medal. There's so many candidates tonight for the Mariners.
The ball up and over halfway, but it's been headed on by the Wanderers into Haliti. But getting in front of Haliti was Swan Spike, and eventually he plays out to Michael McGlinchey in the right-hand side with so much space. McGlinchey advances in towards the penalty area for Duke. Duke goes to deliver the cross. Can't do so. Out over the touchline for a throw. 80 minutes gone here at the Sydney Football Stadium. 2-0 to score. The Mariners over the Wanderers.
They're getting closer and closer, the Mariners. No one's saying anything yet. Nervous times. Nervous times indeed for a Mariners supporter. We've been there, done that. They're on their way.
Left-hand side, Bridge now with the ball. Comes up against Sainsbury. Oh, Sainsbury, cool as you like. Touches it out over the eastern touchline. Off the feet there of Bridge. And it will be a throw. Ono with the ball now. Plays it square. Once more to Moy. Moy looks towards Cole. Cole's surrounded by two. And then on the right-hand side with Elrich. Moy swings in off the right boot. Up goes Sainsbury, wins the header. Topple Stanley has the ball long, delivers towards the penalty spot. Ono gets his head to the ball and heads it nowhere near the goal. You see the crowd turn around, put their backs towards the goal, and bounces one.
It's the 80th minute mark at the stadium. Jumping line with the Ponzan. None of the Mariners supporters are doing it. None of the members are doing it. Jeez, that's an impressive sight, isn't it? You pan one side and take your vision away from when they're not doing it. That's quite incredible. There's talk of the Mariners supporters doing it. I don't think that's the right time for them at all.
Of course, Wanderers scored against the Mariners in the 80th minute, so most of the crowd missed it last time at the Central Coast Stadium.
That's absolutely right. It's Lavino Haliti.
Right on 80 minutes.
Signify, that's offside.
There's the first offside of the night, and it's against Mark Bridge, the assistant referee here on the western side, having something to do tonight with an offside call.
Of course, the Ponzan that gets done, I'll tell you what the Ponzan is for those supporters. For those listeners out there, the supporters turn their back to play, jump up and down. It's in honour of the first game played in Western Sydney, the first football game in 1880, hence the 80th minute. And the Wanderers were one of the teams that day. Not this Wanderers, but a Wanderers team.
The newest, oldest club around. The ball at the moment with the Wanderers up towards Haliti. It's fed on towards Ono. The crowd goes up one. Ono tries to play the through ball. Sainsbury stands firm and deflects the ball down towards your skipper and Hutchison. He gets it back once again. Sainsbury on halfway with Duke. Duke plays it off to McBreen. McBreen goes once more. He picks out Bozanic. Bozanic crosses halfway. Oh, you took too much time. It was dispossessed easily there by Cole for the Wanderers. Cole plays it in behind.
Again. No, it's Pej Bowic.
Pej Bowic wins the ball back to the Mariners. Now McGlinchey turning inside. Needs to feed either Duke or Bowic. He decides to feed Bowic. He'll never make that ball from McGlinchey out over the goal line. And it will be a goal kick here for the Wanderers. 83 minutes gone. 2-0 to score. The Mariners over the Wanderers.
It's almost like Pej Bowic was reluctant to go forward there. When he did, he put the accelerator on. It's a little bit of miscommunication. We don't see that too often between these two players. But on that occasion, against the Mariners.
Topple Stanley Oh, Mariners are offside. It's just putting pressure there on top of Stanley and Mitchell Duke, and caught offside because of Luke Byrne on the touchline, with thanks to Rain and Horn Gosford.
You get the feeling the crowd's up for a final 10 minutes here because the atmosphere is lifting. The Wanderers are coming. The Mariners are coming back just as hard as well.
Into the penalty area here, into the centre, bouncing around, appeals for a free kick by the Mariners. Must be offside there as a player. No, he's not. It was Cole. He's got the ball now in the corner, down the western side. There's two footballs on the field because one just went straight across the field of play. It's now with Moy. Moy back towards the goalie, wants to attack and plays into Abini. Now the Mariners could have a chance here. They play it on a Duke here. Abini, though, plays it straight into the feet there of Michael Bouchamp for some reason. And it'll be away here now for the Wanderers down the right-hand side. That will be Tarek Elrich, top of the penalty area. Stretching Swan-like, plays it on to Bowich. Trying to beat the now free kick given away there by Michael McGlinchey. Just pushes the number 8 in Polyak over. And it's going to be a free kick here to the Wanderers. And it will be taken some 24 metres out from goal. And it'll be 12 metres off centre towards the eastern side of the Sydney Football Stadium.
This is Shinji Ono territory just here. This is the Mariners' time and moment right here. This is a time and moment for the Mariners. Aaron Moy's on the ball as well. Everyone's drawing a deep breath.
Shot on goal. Can we call that a shot on goal? Surely not. It has careered well over the crossbar, probably some 8 to 10 metres above the Matt Ryan goal.
What was Aaron Moy doing taking the ball? You give that to Shinji Ono. Aaron Moy is a player who's the most tired at the moment.
The crowd streams out here with only some 5 minutes remaining. Mariners.
Saw footage of Nick Montgomery coming out of the dressing rooms. He'll be one relieved man if the Mariners can just hold on.
Will he have the kit on under the suit? Will he pull the suit off and reveal the kit, a la John Terry style? As we see Mitchell Duke, he's played it straight into Tarek Elrich, and Elrich has conceded the corner. Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Fruit for all Birkledale.
Yeah, coming on very shortly is Nick Fitzgerald for the Central Coast Mariners. This looks like Graham Arnold's also talked to Zach Anderson the last 5 minutes as well. Would it be surprised if he wastes a little bit of time heading into the 90th minute?
So he should. We'll probably see 3 or 4 minutes of time.
Yeah, a couple of flares. Penalty. Goals. 86 minutes gone now. 2-0 the score. The Mariners over the Wanderers. Right foot corner to be delivered here by McGlinchey. Comes in, out comes Kovic, claims confidently in front of all the traffic.
Problems here.
Throws out quickly. The Mariners need to get back and get back quickly. Sainsbury's putting in the big ones. He's almost out-sprinted everybody to get back. Moy, right-hand side, plays it to Cole. Cole within 16 metres of the goal line, delivers the cross. There's Ono, falls for Moy. Cleared away, though, by the Mariners, only as far as Cole. And he's brought down by Abini. Easy free kick there for the referee to give.
Oh, yes, it was an easy free kick. It did go down very easy. I'll tell you what, Western Sydney have had some good free kicks and some good positions. The centre-backs have stood tall so far. Again, nervous times for the Mariners. Can they overcome another hurdle on their way to grand final glory?
So free kick will be taken by Moy this time, curling into the penalty area. Right foot strikes, it does curl towards the back post. Up goes. It was Daniel McBreen with the defensive header that time, out and over the eastern touchline. Throw in for the Mariners. 87 minutes gone. 2-0 the score. The Mariners over the Wanderers.
That time Daniel McBreen headed over the sideline, not out for a corner. It's better stuff from the Mariners. They're just holding on here. Tell you what, they are parking the bus at times at Central Coast, making it very, very nervous times.
We'll bring you an extended post-game show here after the grand final, including the presentations.
All the dignitaries down to the sideline. See down there.
Here is the Mariners' substitution. They will remove Michael McGlinchey and replace him with Nick Fitzgerald.
Michael McGlinchey dead off his feet. He had a massive, massive first half. Just ran out of legs massively. It happened about 10 minutes into that second half. Wasn't to be as effective as he could. Good sub to give, I think, for the Mariners here. Probably the next sub, maybe Daniel McBreen, maybe Byrne Abini, yet to be seen.
Michael is also on a yellow card, and I think he just got his last warning from referee Peter Green that if he gave away another foul, he could pick up a second yellow.
Oh well. Mariners happy to make the substitution. Ball across halfway now. Running towards the western side. The ball with Abini. Two in front of him. Cole coming behind him. Abini ran between two players. One of them was Tariq Eldridge. He's around. He's still running. He feeds it wide to the right and just can't keep his feet there. Was Nick Fitzgerald there? Then he cut it back and Kovic comes and claims it easily. 88 minutes gone. 2-0 the score. The Mariners over the Wanderers.
Unbelievable run by Byrne Abini. I thought he had the right to be in front of goal and actually shoot there. Just lost his footing. Nick Fitzgerald, as he was just ill-timed his run a little bit. The Mariners would have been on their way through to goal there.
The ball in the centre now with Moy. Moy just holding it up. They score now. This place will erupt and that's the Wanderers is, of course. Bridge delivers the cross now. Little push in the back. Flag goes up. Offside.
Thought the flag was going up for the push there.
Yeah, I reckon it was pretty obvious on this side, wasn't it?
Tell you what, want to be careful here. The Mariners don't want to give Western Sydney a sniff at all, and that includes pushing. Mariners 2-0 up in the grand final. We've been here before. We have called this. Destiny awaits the Central Coast if they can just hold Western Sydney out.
Ryan goes long from the free kick. From the offside, it'll fall from McBreen. No, the ball will beat McBreen out over the touchline. Throw in to the Wanderers, who close in on the final minute of regulation time here at the Sydney Football Stadium. We're in the 90th minute now. The Mariners lead 2-0. Can the Wanderers force it in extra time? The Mariners head back to their goalkeeper. In behind the line, though, was Haliti. He almost grabbed onto it straight away. The Wanderers pressure the Mariners as they play it out from the back. Joshua Rose turns it over. Helping him out, though, is Oliver Bozanic. Oliver Bozanic turns around too, then plays the ball into the centre. Once more on the juke. Oh, plenty of space out for Fitzgerald. They didn't see him, so the ball's played to Abini on the left-hand side. Getting in front of him was Tariq Eldridge. His back's towards the goalie and wants to attack, so he plays it to Kovic. Kovic's clearance won't get past McBreen. Bouchon gets there. Wicked spin on the ball in front of Topwell Stanley. He gets possession of the ball, though, and the Wanderers can play it out again. Only some 10 or 15 seconds of regulation time remaining. The ball will go up. Great work here by the Wanderers. They go down the penalty area, waved away by the referee. He was a long way away from it, the referee. In any case, he felt confident in waving away. There'll be 3 minutes of time remaining.
Labino Haliti, I'd like to see a replay of this. He went down quite easily. Did get bumped. Tell you what, touch and go. There's been a couple of moments tonight where Western Sydney could have had a penalty. I think that was on one instance. It could well have been the case.
I'll just say it again, the referee was a long way away from that decision.
Absolutely. It's just the way the players go down there. Tony Popovich is spitting chips, but it's the way the players go down. They go down too easy and they bring it on themselves. Like Mark Milligan did last week, really brought it upon himself the way he dived.
The ball now at the feet of Fitzgerald. Little push in the back there against Boich. He's happy though to play the ball around his body. On the head of Sainsbury. Heads down now for Hutchison. Hutchison, a foundation squad member.
There's one interview. He'd love to get John Hutchinson. Last grand final, he was in tears of distraught. This be tears of joy now.
Zach Anderson's about to come on, boys, as well.
2 minutes remaining of the time added on. We'll see.
What was the time added on?
3 minutes. Ball in the centre circle. Advantage played to Western Sydney. It's with Kolyak. Now Abini will get in the way here. He'll head down in front of Tariq Eldridge and he'll just head for the corner here, Byrne Abini. Surely. Abini, you can see Duke in the middle. He's drawn one. Abini plays it around two. One of them's Eldridge.
Waste time here, Byrne.
One of them was Kolak. The cross comes in the centre. Fitzgerald heads towards goal. Kovic diving to his left, claims the ball. Fitzgerald looking hungry there. Throws out now towards Moy. Left-hand side.
Nearly there.
The Wanderers. Probably still some 75 seconds remaining of the time added on. It is with Sainsbury. Plays down the line. Mariners are still in possession. Hutchison up towards halfway. Getting a touch on now is John Hutchison. Doing everything he can to steer his ship. The good ship Mariner at the moment. They are leading 2 to the good. First goals they've scored at this stadium this season, the Mariners, and what a match to score them in.
Deep breath.
The ball with Cole, he delivers it into the penalty area. The Mariners deal with the ball, though. It's coming across to Bozanic.
Where are you going, Pej Bowich? Come back.
Now Joshua Rose comes down the left-hand side to pick up the ball, and the Mariners, though, have turned it over again to the Wanderers. It is with Moy. What can Moy do? He can only play a short ball in the centre. I've only got about 16 seconds of the time added on left. So we see McBreen coming back into defensive work. Ball into the penalty area. On towards Abini. Abini goes long off the right boot. Whistles going around the crowd.
Nearly there, the Mariners.
The ref is down at full time. The Central Coast Mariners have defeated the Western Sydney Wanderers 2-0 here at the Sydney Football Stadium. And the Mariners are the 2012-2013 A-League champions.
Yes, the Mariners have finally done it 8 seasons later. The Joker's tag is on. You are the champions, the Mariners. You were awesome today. You have deserved everything tonight. Enjoy your celebrations, Mariners fans. The pain, the agony of 8 seasons was all gone in this grand final. Celebration will be with the Yellow Army tonight.
Luke Byrne on the touchline with thanks to Fruit for All, Berkeley Vale.
Unbelievable! The Central Coast Mariners are the champions, and what a performance! This is 3 years in the making. The heartbreak in Brisbane, the disappointment in Gosford last year. Tonight was their night. It was their time, and they are the champions.
The Mariners squad bounces one in the centre of the field. The Wanderers players gather in the centre. The Wanderers fans, though, haven't streamed out from that northern end. They're all still there. They're all still proud of their team, who's done so well in their first season. They've come through, they've won the premiership, and they've fallen at the final hurdle, the championship game. The Central Coast Mariners take it 2-0.
And they're going over towards the Yellow Army side. The great Yellow Army, the supporters who came here tonight in big numbers, who believed. I think they all believed. The players believed tonight. They finally believed they were worthy. They believed it was their time. The banner in the Yellow Army said it was our time, and it is the Mariners' time. This is going to be a special night in Gosford. It's going to be a special night now celebrating. They're jumping hurdles. They're jumping one hurdle, jumping a second hurdle into the fence, celebrating with the players. This is a special moment. Luke, if you get around there, try and get around there.
I'll just stand still for a minute, Michael. Let the players have their moment. We'll try and get around very shortly.
Protocol.
Put a green boob on. Become a photographer.
Unbelievable.
The Mariners made all their way down towards that southern end where the yellow fans have gathered. They're bouncing as one with their fans that have made the trip down here to a foreign stadium, the Sydney Football Stadium. The scene of 2 grand final losses, one against Sydney FC, 1-0, one against Newcastle United, 1-0. But this time, the Mariners make up for it, defeating the Wanderers 2-0. A multi-goal grand final again for the Mariners, but this time not conceding.
Mariners, chokers no more. A-League champions, chokers no more. After 8 seasons. Big flag. Someone's running with a big flag across the field there. Is that little Mikey McGlinchey running across to the Yellow Army? Such a shame that they have to go to Korea now. Would have been fantastic for them to celebrate with their fans tonight.
It was Daniel McBreen.
Yep. The Newcastle boy. 19 goals this season. Daniel McBreen. What a season he had. What a penalty he's had.
Luke Byrne?
Yeah, it's an amazing season from Daniel McBreen, but what a performance by all the players here tonight. There wasn't one player here tonight that you would say didn't put their heart and soul on the line for the club. I'm going to try and grab Trent Sainsbury.
You try and grab Trent Sainsbury, and we'll just wait for the presentation here, because the stadium is out. We'll wait for John Hutchison finally to lift up the championship trophy here. The Central Coast Mariners triumphant over the Wanderers, the Western Sydney Wanderers. Their first defeat in 13 matches.
14 matches. This is the 15th, I think.
Last one was the Mariners in January at Parramatta.
And really, that was a day.
2-0 as well.
Yep.
Mariners deserved that day. really had the wood over Western Sydney. What a fairy tale season. You talk about fairy tales. Mariners had their fairy tales, but the season that the Mariners have had, Western Sydney, unbelievable season. I think their fans will be utterly disappointed. They've got the Premier's plate, their fans. They can celebrate that. They've got something more to look forward to now. Don't get all the trophies in the first season.
So the Mariners had the pain of losing the Premier's plate to the Wanderers. Now they have the celebration of taking home the championship ring. The plate, of course, has visited the Central Coast twice. The Mariners have been premiers of the A-League, and this is their first championship, the championship ring. 3 previous attempts, the only team to feature in 4 grand finals.
It's Central Coast Mariners, the little club, the smallest club in the A-League, and now the biggest, the most mammoth, biggest effort for this championship. The players will deserve that. They'll deserve that. The heart, the supporters will deserve that. The agony over the years. It's been unbelievable. And tonight is all joy and ecstasy.
Just want to wait for the presentation here down on the field.
Just couldn't get anyone, just in time, Luke. Don't know who players were near there.
Sorry?
No players came your way, so...
No, they didn't, because there's not many supporters over this side.
We will get an interview.
I'm going to try and get Phil Moss if I can very shortly.
He's making your way towards him. He's not planning for career already, Phil Moss, is he? Might be needing to go to the toilet after that 90 minutes. Here he is, Phil Moss and Luke Byrne.
Phil Moss, an incredible performance by the Mariners here tonight.
Mate, no one deserves it more than these bunch of boys and our bunch of supporters. I'm just so proud of everyone involved with the club. We've battled just about every hurdle that you can be put in front of you, and we've come up trumps.
Well, could you believe it? Daniel McBreen put home the penalty. The penalty's been the curse of the Mariners all season.
Yeah, we got rid of that a few weeks ago, mate. I was totally confident in Macca. He's been striking them great, so I'm just so proud of the guys. Great to see Patrick Swansvik score too.
Enjoy the trip to Korea.
Mate, it's going to be a ripper.
Cheers, Phil Moss.
Phil Moss there with Luke Byrne, the assistant coach of the Central Coast Mariners. Needs to almost put on the hat to start planning the trip to Korea now. The Mariners taking on Suwon on Tuesday night in the Asian Champions League. You'll hear all the action here on Coast FM, of course, as the Mariners continue their trip through Asia. 2 more group stage matches remaining. The Mariners very much alive in that competition as well.
Yes, very much alive. Don't know how they'll be able to focus. I think there'll be some celebratory David Boone's on the plane. Don't know, they've got 2 days to turn that around. It's going to be a tough ask for them, but they're not thinking about that now. They're thinking of A-League glory, championship glory, glory for the Central Coast, our little town on the outskirts of Sydney.
I'm going to grab the chairman, guys.
Peter Turnbull. Luke Byrne is down there with the chairman, Peter Turnbull.
Peter Turnbull wearing a Champions 2013 T-shirt. What a performance by the club.
Mate, bloody magnificent. I mean, this mob of boys, they deserve it. All the supporters deserve it. The region deserves it. Arnie deserves it. It's just fantastic. We should have had it 2 years ago, but bugger that, this is better.
And to do it in front of a record crowd here at the Sydney Football Stadium for an A-League Grand Final, it doesn't get better than this.
Doesn't get better than this. And what are we? We're the champions of New South Wales and Australia. Forget West Sydney.
Thank you, Peter Turnbull.
Thank you.
Peter Turnbull there. He's celebrating with the fans down on the on the western side of the stadium here, the Sydney Football Stadium. Very happy, clearly, Peter Turnbull, and why shouldn't be? So many troubles he and the club went through, and ownership sagas, and whether salaries were going to be paid. In the end, they were.
It is the fairy tale, isn't it? When you look back at it, this season, they weren't paid in March. That's when they had that little form slump. But other than that, they've been the best team in the country all year, except for the last month. They came through the final series, probably had to play the best team in the first week, and that was the Melbourne Victory. They rolled them, and to come here tonight against a crowd which was 85% against them, and to play the best football in this country, and to win 2-0, it doesn't get any better than that.
And that was the pain. It hardened the players. It made them tough mentally. This is Patrick Swansvik. Is he going up for the Joe Marston medal?
Well, I think he's just shaking the referee's hands.
I think he may well get it. Patrick Swansvik Him and Trent Sainsbury was supreme, but the pain had just hardened the players, and you can see that mental steel tonight against a vulnerable Western Sydney side. The Mariners hardly gave them an inch the whole game. Definitely deserved winners in this grand final, 2-0. Not many grand finals that blow out like that, other than obviously the 6 that Melbourne victory put past Adelaide, but in the other 8 seasons of A-League history,
Mariners up 2-0, of course, and ended up being 2-2 just 2 years ago.
Only 1 goal first season. Second season there was only 1 goal. Third season 1 goal. Fourth season it was Melbourne victory. The 5th season was that epic game up at Lang Park. 6th season, that was 6 seasons, so when last year was 1 goal as well. So to put 2 past best defensive outfit in the A-League in a grand final, super night, super moment.
So the presentation's about to start here at the Sydney Football Stadium. We'll just take a short break here on Coast FM. When we come back, it'll be time for the Mariners to receive their championship ring, the championship of 2012, 2013. Take a short break and come back with that presentation here on Coast FM 963.
At half-time, when the Mariners chomp into a big, juicy piece of fruit, it's been supplied by Fruit for All. From day one, they've been supplying the Mariners with only the best variety and quality. And it's the same when you shop at Fruit for All in Tumby Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. Nick, Tony and Angelo pride themselves on supplying the freshest and finest fruit and veggies, whether it's to restaurants and caterers or to you. Open from 7 every morning, Fruit for All, Tumby Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. They love their football, but best of all, they love their fruit.
A station sponsor.
When you've been in real estate for over 40 years, you make a lot of contacts, and that's how it is with Rain and Horn, Gosford. Every day they're working to find the right buyer for your property. And with a wealth of experience and local knowledge, you're in good hands. Rain and Horn Gosford is family owned by Jeff and Sue Tilden, proud of their many industry awards for customer care. Buying, selling, renting. Call Rain and Horn Real Estate in the centre of Gosford, 4324 7744.
Station sponsor.
You roll out of your comfy bed, have a quick shower and wash your hair. Easy. Quickly get dressed and time for breakfast. And pretty much all the everyday things you've just used came from the other place that's comfortable, easy and quick, the Imperial Centre Gosford. It was the first shopping centre on the coast, the first to give us truly convenient, easy shopping. And that same experience is still what you get every day. The Imperial Centre Gosford. Comfortable, easy, just like home.
A station sponsor.
Bluetongue Stadium is proud to sponsor the Mariners live call on Coast FM. Join Bluetongue Stadium on Facebook to find out what's happening, including all their upcoming events and latest news. Check out their website at www.bluetonguestadium.com.au. Bluetongue Stadium is a proud sponsor of the Mariners live football call on Coast FM.
Welcome back here to the Sydney Football Stadium. We're in the presentation at the moment. The first presentation after the referees was for the Joe Master Medal, the best on ground, elected here by the media and the Football Federation, and that award went to Daniel McBreen.
Oh, congratulations, Daniel McBreen, worthy recipient. What a fine season he's had. It's just capped off what's probably been his best ever season. Evergreen, Daniel McBreen, goal scoring machine, Daniel McBreen. What a season he's had.
Michael Beauchamp, another lost grand final at this venue for Michael Beauchamp, this time wearing red and black, the skipper of the West Sydney Wanderers. He's just making his speech before his team comes up and gets the runners-up medals. Luke, did Daniel have much to say after being awarded the Joe Marston medal?
Yeah, he was ecstatic. He thanked his mum. He thanked his dad up in the sky. He said that was the moment for him this year, and his dad was over watching him play tonight. And what a performance by Daniel McBreen to win the Joe Marston medal, the second Central Coast Mariner to win it behind Matt Ryan against Brisbane 2 seasons ago.
19 goals, Daniel McBreen, for the A-League season, including finals. The A-League Golden Boot, Daniel McBreen. And no more fitting way to end the season, but with a grand final win, and hopefully for Daniel McBreen, he'll be hoping a contract for next season.
Yeah, rumours he may be going to another A-League team. We'll find out in the next few weeks or so if they want to hold on to Daniel McBreen, at least for another season. He's in imperial form at the moment. He's playing in a club that he absolutely loves, playing with staff that are absolutely just get the best out of him, coaches, conditioners that get the best out of him. Why would he leave?
So we're just seeing the Western Sydney Wanderers now receiving their runners-up medals, probably to go with their their premiership medals. But they'll see this season very much as a success this year, the Western Sydney Wanderers. And the Mariners will get up and will be presented the championship ring, and after that we'll grab the interviews as the players go around on their victory lap here at the City Football Stadium.
I've got to say, 8 years in the making, this victory lap, isn't it?
Absolutely 8 years.
Yes.
It has been 8 years, and it was from this venue where it all started. That day, the 1-0, the Sydney FC, the dream of the blink was that season. But today is all yellow.
And credit on this day must go to Laurie McKenna as well. He was one of those people who built this club up from the ground for this special day, and you can see he would be the happiest man inside the stadium right now.
Absolutely, I'm sure he's got working already on plans as Mayor of Gosford for something special in Gosford later the week, maybe on Friday or maybe on Saturday, something special, celebrations when the players come back from Korea.
Is Gosford big enough to hold it?
He'll be joined in, I guess, bittersweet feelings by someone else who started off the Mariners, and that will be Western Sydney Wanderers chairman Lyle Gorman.
Yeah, absolutely. Lyle Gorman will have a quiet drink, I think, for the Mariners tonight. He was another one in the beginning who believed, with Laurie McKenna, Alex Tobin, John Mackay. They were all people in the beginning who really believed in what the Mariners could do, what the Mariners could achieve. Lyle Gorman now the CEO of Western Sydney, but I think, as I said, he'll have a quiet beer tonight for the Mariners as he reflects on what's been an exceptional year for Western Sydney.
The Wanderers are still going through and collecting their runners-up medals, the full squad of players here at the Sydney Football Stadium. The Mariners and support staff milling around. Be a very happy flight to Korea tomorrow morning.
I hope they make the flight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they'll be making that flight across. I think they really know they're still alive in the Asian Champions League, and the result goes the right way for them in Korea, and they could be very much playing for a knockout phase berth in the match back at Central Coast Stadium.
Yeah, wouldn't they be hungry for more? The Mariners tasted some silverware this season now. They're going to be hungry for Asian Champions League glory as well.
A few more players to go here. Shinji Ono, the crowd will go crazy for Shinji Ono as he comes up to receive his medal. Hasn't he been so good for the A-League? Just the right marquee player for the Wanderers to choose.
Absolutely. Very, very quiet tonight as well. Very quiet tonight. John Hutchinson, the captain, the leader, the inspiration. He was the one who nullified that potent attacking threat of Shinji Ono.
Credit must go to the Wanderers and their fans for staying back here this evening. Like you would think after a grand final loss the place would be emptying, but the RBB and a lot of the Wanderers fans here on the western side, they're still in their seats applauding the Wanderers players and giving them a send-off that they deserve, because who would have thought the Wanderers would have been in the grand final at the start of the season?
No one. Who would have picked a Mariners Wanderers grand final? The odds you would have got for that. The Wanderers premiership would have got you around 20s to 30s. 50s. Was it that much?
Yeah, at the start of the season they were 50-1. They were the rank outsiders, and they did it with a brand of football that was very much counter-attacking. They let other teams play and they hit them on the counter-attack, and tonight they didn't have Yusuf Hersey, who could have been that player to counter-attack, and therefore the Mariners had that little bit of an advantage pushing forward on that left-hand side.
Let's not forget they were sitting in 10th position after 3 rounds of the A-League, the Wanderers. A draw and 2 losses.
Yeah, absolutely, in last position.
Mariners weren't that much in front of them.
No, they weren't. Absolutely right.
Ron Corrie just going up. That was who Graham Arnold mentioned during the interview earlier today, playing at Sydney, Croatia. The Wanderers still receiving their premiership medal. The Mariners now moving forward. John Hutchison will no doubt lead his team up to receive the championship ring, the rather large championship trophy here for the A-League.
It's a very large one. I'll accept this with joy. John Hutchinson, tears of distraught, of dismay two seasons ago in Brisbane. Will be all tears of joy now. Be no happier man on the park, I think, than John Hutchinson.
And so the Red and Black Block turn their backs to the Mariners and bounces one.
Yeah, good on them. Let them do what they want. They can support. They're still here, Luke says. They'll go up and do the Ponds End, but I'm sure when the trophy gets lifted, they'll be around and they'll be applauding as well. It's a great battle tonight. Season 8 of the A-League has proved to be the best season in the history of the A-League.
Doesn't this just create another rivalry for the A-League? And I'm sure round one next season there'll be Wanderers and Mariners somewhere, either Gosford or at Parramatta Stadium.
Yeah, so I'd say that would be prime for a game in Gosford. It'll have to be that first game. And the rivalry is Tony Popovich, Graham Arnold in this. Graham Arnold still around next season. That rivalry will continue.
The players still receiving their championship medals and making their way over to the streamer display, which will burst out under the pressure of CO2 very shortly. It's become a fixture here in A-League Grand Finals.
Wouldn't they have to come back to the stage as John Hutchinson?
Well, he'll hold the ring up again from the CEO and then probably run across to the team over there. The good thing about this presentation too, there hasn't been any speeches by prime ministers or CEOs or chairmen. We see on stage, I'm not sure why, but Mark Shield, Alex Tobin. Who else is on stage there?
David Gallup.
David Gallup, of course.
And I don't know the last gentleman.
Probably Damien.
Speaking of chairmen or owners, you can guarantee that Peter Turnbull won't be there trying to wrestle the trophy off the players, a.k.a. Constantine, season 3.
I didn't witness that.
Yes, he did. He was up there right amongst the players as they were celebrating. He took the trophy home that night to Parklea Markets, where his business was.
Parklea Markets is in Western Sydney.
Yeah, well, that's where he took the trophy that night. Didn't allow the players to celebrate with the trophy.
Well, you don't think I'll be going to Korea tomorrow, do you?
No. You're going back to Gosford.
So we see the Millet Stajowski going up. Probably unlucky not to pick up a Joe Mars the medal nomination. Millet Stajowski, though, goal scorer, and Daniel McBreen.
I had a look at that opportunity he had. It was in the 8th minute, that opportunity, where he chipped the keeper, hit the crossbar. That was when he scored in 1999, was in the 8th minute as well. Almost so much synergy there. Last player coming up now, Nick Fitzgerald, coaching staff, they're about to come up as well.
Patrick Sponsai just bringing his family onto the field here and across to the fans, and picked out his kids as we see Graham Arnold now coming up.
Why would you boo Graham Arnold, in all honesty? You're the opposition supporters.
Wasn't popular before 2005, Graham Arnold.
No, he wasn't.
Some people still have memories.
I'm one of them.
But now he has a championship ad. We see Phil Moss being called up, the Mariners assistant coach, after Graham Arnold. They grabbed their championship caps. John Crawley, the goalkeeper coach, been here since season 1, started off as a player, then as a coach.
Rick Catter, the team manager, team physio, team helper.
Eventually Andrew Clark will also come up. Of course, he felt the heartache of the grand final here in 2005, 2006, a loss against Sydney FC.
Yeah, absolutely. As a player, he was in today's match program underneath Dwight York, a great photo where they showed a photo from season 1 grand final. He was a player that day. He contributed as much as anyone else to his success.
John Hutchison slowly making his way up here to the stage to accept his medal, and the biggest medal of all, That is the championship ring here in the A-League for 2012-2013. Alex Tobin, his former assistant coach with the Mariners for those 2 other losses of the grand final, shakes the hand of the MC, and he's going to make a short speech, which we won't be able to capture here on Coast FM, but we'll bring you action from John Hutchison and the others as they make their way around the field of play here after receiving the championship ring. A long time in the making. The Mariners, though, 4th time lucky. Some said it was going to be 3rd time lucky against the Brisbane Roar. They say you need to lose a grand final before you know how to win one. And the Mariners have lost 3, so they know especially how to win this one.
There's plenty of scars because of that grand final. In the last grand final, that was the one that hurt the most, being 2-0 up. One against the progressively hurt more and more these grand finals. Mariners didn't expect to do so well in season 1. Big rivals against Newcastle, leading against Brisbane and losing it. But tonight, they weren't going to lose that 2-0 lead at all tonight. They scrapped and they defended, led at the back by Patrick Swanswyk and Trent Sainsbury. They were absolutely supreme. Every player dug in for glory tonight.
So John Hutchison still on the stage, just finishing his speech.
The other guys from the sponsor, major sponsor.
Ah, right. David Gallup and the major sponsor taking hold of the championship ring. Coming up with John Hutchison is Patrick Swanswyk. He's been called forward by the skipper, John Hutchison.
Isn't that nice? Together.
John Hutchison and Patrick Swanswyk grab hold of the ring and lift it up for the yellow and blue to go crazy over.
Yes.
John Hutchison and Patrick Swanswyk, 6 and 7, numbers 6 and 7 for the Mariners, hold up the championship ring. They make their way over to the rest of the team, bouncing as one under the banner of A-League champion for 2013, the Central Coast Mariners. They're joined now by skipper and vice captain. They all go as one, they hold it up in the air, up go the yellow and blue confetti, and the Central Coast Mariners are crowned champions. Champions of the A-League.
Oh, what a moment. What a beautiful moment for the players. What a beautiful moment for the fans. What a beautiful moment for the Central Coast.
The glitter goes all over this field that's witnessed so many great matches in all codes. But tonight it's the Mariners and it's football's turn. They travelled here once hosting a grand final here and they lost it against Newcastle. They travelled as a visitor here against Sydney FC and they lost that. They've travelled to Brisbane and lost a grand final, and the Mariners, 3rd time in this venue, have won a grand final.
Byrne's going across. Let's see who we can get interview-wise. Hopefully be able to grab someone there.
Plenty, I hope.
This will be unbelievable. The players, they're going the other way now. Put in there, Luke.
Central Coast Mariners.
Still think they're going with photos at the moment, boys. It's a bit a long night.
The snappers, you think they've got snappers that have enough by now?
Which has got the seat around his neck, the ring.
That's what the design was there for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To be able to put it around your neck. Coming up after the football tonight, I should say, is the weekend wind down with Mal Kirkpatrick. So the weekend wind down will be coming back here on Coast FM. The Central Coast Mariners going down as one to have their photos and celebrate as a team here. Laying down the entire squad. You feel for Nick Montgomery. John Hutchison missing out at the moment. He's off with them around the fence with his family and friends. The Western Sydney Wanderers are making their way around the field. Still the flares burn. The Wanderers fans just...
Well, you wouldn't want to take it out with you, would you? Take it home. You want to make the most of it now.
A flare going home is a flare wasted, I guess, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Don't store well for next season. Just tracking where Luke Byrne is on there on the field of play.
I can see him.
Yes, he's in amongst all the confetti. The team still milling around in front of the advertising hoarding, holding the ring. They've been rejoined by their skipper and John Hutchison. Photographers gathering around to make their posters. You see the Wanderers as they make their way down towards the southern end here of the Sydney Football Stadium in front of their fans who have done them so proud. And they've just failed at the final hurdle, the Wanderers, but whether they failed or they've succeeded over the entire length of the championship, that must be looked at. You could only say this season was a success for them over all 27 rounds of the A-League.
In terms of points-wise, it was their most successful season, only eclipsed by that miraculous run by Western Sydney. They peaked. They were ready to peak. They had a bit of a dip around that pay saga, but then they put that behind them and they peaked. Looks like Luke got someone here.
He'll have plenty. We'll cross down to Luke Byrne down there on the touchline. He's down there with John Hutchison, the skipper.
John Hutchison, 8 years in the making. What an incredible night for the Mariners.
It's unbelievable, you know. It's, as I said, it's not just for us as players. You know, it's the people who work in the office, the volunteers, the members, the fans that come every day. You know, it's been fantastic. It's for everyone on the Central Coast, this one. I promised them a few weeks ago at Kibble Park when we playing Melbourne hard that we'll try to win it for them, and there it is. That's all it is.
Personally, how much does it mean to you to be the captain? I know your long-time friend Alex Wilkinson, he went through too where he missed out, but your first time at captain, you get the grand final victory.
Oh, it's fantastic, you know, but in saying that, you know, I feel for my mate Wilco, you know, he's a fantastic player, great ambassador for the club. I wish he could have been here to experience one with me, you know, because the club miss him, you know, but he's got a great career over in Korea going, but it's been a fantastic effort by the boys tonight, you know. It's they've got a big trip coming up to Korea and they just need to enjoy it, embrace it, and the fans are going to have a wonderful trip home, I know that.
How important was that first goal?
Oh, it's just settled the nerves, you know. It's I thought we were playing a better football than them, you know. I thought they'll just go under the pump a bit. We'll find some good areas, good space, and when the goal came, we were pretty confident we could go on with the job.
Congratulations, John Hutchinson, captain of the Central Coast Mariners, Season 8 grand final winners.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
There was John Hutchison down there with Luke Byrne. Keep chasing, Luke. Get running.
Fitness, son.
Fitness, that's
Pedge
right.
Coaches in front of you there.
There's more around. Jump in there. He's pulling out there, Pedge Bowych. There you go. Walk with him.
Pedge Bowych from the Central Coast Mariners. Unbelievable to finally win the grand final.
Oh, mate, it's an amazing feeling. Words can't describe. The atmosphere is amazing. The fans came down in numbers and supported us, and what a way to finish it.
And you've been here for a long time now. How important is this victory to the players, but also the fans?
Oh, it's the most important thing. You know, everyone talks about grand final wins. You know, we've got ours now. And we're the most consistent club over the 8 years, and now we've got to prove it again with the grand final.
Have a nice trip to Korea tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
There was Luke. Now you've got to run, Luke, because you didn't walk with him. Luke makes his way down towards the southern end here of the City Football Stadium. Looks like he's going to be going over and try and catch up with someone. Matt Ryan down there.
Matt Ryan, Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper. 2 years ago in Brisbane, it was heartache. How do you feel tonight?
The complete opposite to that night. I mean, what a tremendous effort by the boys, the fans, everyone who's come out and supported us all year. This is just the icing on the cake.
For yourself personally, it looks like you're off contract. You could be going overseas. What a way to finish here with the club.
Yeah, if that's the case, and this was my last A-League game, then what a way to finish. But, I mean, thanks to the club, the fans, everyone. It's been great since I got here. The journey today is just awesome. I've enjoyed it.
And obviously for yourself, a clean sheet must be personally a great effort.
The boys in front of me do a great job week in, week out for the last 3 seasons that I've been here. This year, taking it to another level, it's just been unbelievable.
Congratulations, Matt Ryan.
Thank you, cheers.
There was Luke Byrne down there with Matt Ryan. He's chasing after somebody else now. And the Mariners are making their way down towards
Trent Sainsbury.
The southern end. Luke Byrne.
Sorry, I'm just going to try and get Nick Montgomery. Nick Montgomery couldn't play tonight. What an unbelievable performance by the team.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We deserved it. We've been the best team all season in my eyes, and we missed out on the Premier's plate. But today, we deserved that today. Everybody that played was outstanding, and throughout the season, the whole squad, everybody's played a massive part. And today was the rewards.
How hard was it watching this one?
Yeah, it's horrible. I watched the first half from a box, and when I came down, I was told I had to go in the dressing room. So the final whistle, and it's just been fantastic. And Arnie deserves it, the coaches deserve it, and the Mariners fans deserve it. So hopefully next year we can carry on and win it again.
Cup final win here in Australia. Could you have believed that 12 months ago?
Yeah, I knew I was coming to a good team with a good coach, and the boys. You've seen it on the court. The boys are so together. We worked so hard, and this is what you get when you work hard in football. You get the rewards, and that's what we've got.
Congratulations, Nick Montgomery.
Thank you.
There was Nick Montgomery down there with Luke Byrne. He's got a lot of ground to make up now, Luke.
He's jogging.
He's jogging. Well, no, he stopped again.
Trying to get Ollie Bozanic, local player.
Yes, grab him, get in front of him. Go on, get Ollie Bozanic.
Simon Fisher again.
Put some pace on him.
Oh, you can hear him.
You can hear him.
Popular. Ollie.
They're all down there cheering with Oliver Bozanic on the fence line there. Number 11 for the Mariners. Mariners are so good at doing this. Lap around the field.
Ollie Bozanic, Central Coast boy, winning a premiership here, or championship, with your hometown.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's the best feeling I've ever had in my life to be from the coast and to win the grand final. We've never done it before, and it's the most amazing feeling I've ever had.
Heartbreak in Brisbane, but tonight ecstasy.
Unbelievable, man. Like, the crowd was unbelievable. All the Mariners fans, I want to thank for coming up. They're the best fans any team could have. And, they turned up in numbers, and it was unbelievable.
And for yourself personally, got to start tonight at the expense of Nick Montgomery. But for yourself, it was hard work throughout the season, but you finally got there.
Yeah, it's been hard work during the whole season. I had, 3 injuries during the season. They kept me out. And, you just have to work hard and, break back into the team.
Oliver Bozanic, champion of the season 8 in the A-League.
Cheers, mate.
Luke Byrne down there with a clearly ecstatic Oliver Bozanic. Luke down there with Patrick Sponswijk.
Patrick Sponswijk joins us, Central Coast Mariners defender. Opening goal of the grand final. How did you feel?
It was worth it. He was been waiting it for a long time, and I think if any team deserved this final, it's the Mariners. And I didn't score a lot this year. Won in the Champions League, and I was close a lot of times, but didn't score. And then, what a better way to score a goal and to bring the toilet home.
You've been here for 3 years now. How much does this mean to you?
This is everything. Like everybody, as supporters, deserved it. My family deserved it. They went with me all the way for 3 years, and what a better way to finish the season! And what a better way to treat the supporters on their win.
Will we see you next year in Mariners colours?
That's a big question. I might retire on a high note and call it a quit, but I stay at the club. But we'll see.
Thank you, Patrick Sponswijk. Congratulations, champion in the A-League.
Thank you very much.
There is Patrick Sponswijk down there with Luke Byrne, the southern end here of the Sydney Football Stadium. As Luke puts in the big ones, he continues to run around the field and see who he can catch up with next. We'll stay.
It's going to be hard pressed
down there with Luke.
Hard pressed to find anyone there.
There's plenty there. Just a crowd of photographers around them. I can see Luke now has made his way all the way to the southeastern corner here.
What a thrill for him as well to be part of those celebrations. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Graham Arnold's making his way around. Maybe Graham Arnold will catch up with Luke Byrne shortly.
If he goes the opposite way, Luke, maybe meet up with Graham Arnold eventually.
Yeah, no worries. I might have to get permission for that one.
The ABC just did it, so go for it.
Beautiful. Looking for him. Where is he?
He's over on the
opposite corner
western
from where you
touchline.
are.
Okay, no worries.
So Luke Byrne making his way back down behind the goal. The crowd at one end of the ground, certainly at the southern end, the yellow and blue sea, all remaining as they cheer on their local heroes. And one of them being, of course, Graham Arnold, the coach for so long here of the Mariners. And
we're going to meet here.
Now some success. Luke Byrne is now joined down there by Graham Arnold and a throng of photographers. He needs to get in there. Ruck and maul.
Graham Arnold, congratulations. 3 years in the making, this grand final victory.
Yeah, it's been 3 years in the making, and we've achieved our goal with this group of players. Next year we'll rebuild and start again.
2-0. Got to that scoreline for yourself. It's that scoreline that's been horrible to you. How did you feel when you got there?
Yeah, no, when it was 85 minutes, we worked on and spoke a lot about got to play for 95 minutes, and it was perfect.
How proud of the club are you tonight?
Can't tell. Words don't explain.
Graham Arnold, congratulations.
There was Graham Arnold down there with Luke Byrne at the southern end of the Sydney Football Stadium here. Still the players and coaching staff make their way around the field of play.
If you guys can spot Daniel McBreen, that would be a good interview if I can find him.
I can't find him. Oh, there he is. He's right in front of the big camera, in front of you, Luke, the massive camera. He's just chatting away. Grab him. He's about 20 metres away from you, right in front. Luke, can you see him
He's
there?
down with the other red bib
Just to your
person.
left?
Yeah, got up.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
so you'll just have to wait for that interview to stop, and you'll be able to jump in there to continue the interviews here. I also see some of the Mariners coaching staff. If Andrew Clark's around, it will also be great to grab very, very shortly here on Coast FM. We'll go right through the weekend wind down here as the Mariners celebrate their championship here, defeating the West Sydney Wanderers 2-0. Patrick Svonsvik scoring the opening goal, Kmet, and then Daniel McBreen following it up in the second half with a penalty that was well struck, and the first penalty, I think, to go past Ante Kovic.
Oh, no keeper in the world would have saved that penalty. Not even Ante Kovic. I'll tell you what, it just hasn't really sunk in yet. It's been such a long time, so much heartbreak over the time. Now that's actually happened for the Mariners. It doesn't seem like it's reality out there that it's happening, this grand final win. Mariners supporters are still cheering up and down. Luke.
Daniel McBreen, Joe Marsden medalist, and also grand final winner with the Central Coast Mariners. Congratulations on an outstanding performance.
Thanks very much, mate.
Penalties, stepped up, put it in the back of the net. Didn't look like you were ever going to miss.
No, I've been doing a lot of work on them since our little hiccup run, I guess, and every day been out there practicing. And Mossy asked me this morning what I was going to do. He wanted me to make my mind up early doors and just do it, and I told him I'm just going to put it where I put my last one. If he gets it, he gets it. If it goes in, it goes in. So luckily for me, he went the wrong way and it went in. So
3 years of hard work for the Central Coast Mariners. You were so close against the Brisbane Roar last year, against Perth. Penalties again this year. It was your time.
Yeah, definitely, we had the confidence this year in every game that we went out in that we could beat every team. We might not have had that fully the last 2 years, we sometimes we thought it might be a tough game, but this year we just had a little, not too much arrogance, but the confidence that we knew we could beat anyone on our day if we played the football we can play, and we knew that again tonight. So if we went out and did what we could do, and we would get the win, and we got it.
Next season, are you going to be a Mariner?
I hope so, mate. We'll have to sit down and work it out.
Daniel McBreen, congratulations on the Joe Marsden medal. Congratulations on being a champion in the A-League.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
There was Luke Byrne down there with Joe Marsden medalist Daniel McBreen. He makes his way across towards the Mariners camp. Can't quite spot Andrew Clark down there.
I saw him. He had his young daughter holding hands, but it seems he's right next to the tunnel there, Luke. Right next to the tunnel, holding his young daughter, Andrew Clark. This will be a special moment for him.
Certainly will. He's felt the pain of some grand final losses, and now he, as a technical staff member, he feels the success of a grand final win.
Hugging some people in the crowd. Daniel McBreen, as he holds his young daughter,
Andrew
still
Clark
milling around. Daniel McBreen, Andrew Clark. He's got a couple of young sons. McBreen, Arnie's still making his way around the field. Daniel McBreen's making his way around there. Players are slowly coming back. The fans, majority of them still here. What a night this will be back in Gosford. What a night of celebration.
The yellow and blue fans.
Absolutely.
Everyone's so very, very happy. And of course the Mariners coaching staff and playing staff ecstatic, obviously making it feel so much sweeter because they've had to wait so long and work so hard for it.
Absolutely. Have Andrew Clark now.
Andrew Clark for the Central Coast Mariners. You're here on that first day in Season 1 of the A-League. How do you feel right now?
Look, I can't believe it. I think maybe we weren't ready to win it, before, and then today I just knew that we were ready to win, and this club it's an amazing club. It's built on great people, it's built on passion, we've got a vision that's just taken us so far ahead of other clubs in the league, and now it's turned into results on the park. It's just a great day for the club.
And for the Central Coast region, which you're very much a part of, how do you think they're going to react to this victory?
Oh, look, I just hope they're proud of us. There's guys here that, they just put in every single day. I mean, this day is, it's not 1 year, it's not 8 months, 10 months. Since day one that they arrived, when Arnie came here, we slog it out every single day, and this is what you get at the end.
Is this redemption for all those grand final losses?
Oh, look, I think you just treat each game as an individual game. I didn't base today's effort on any other game that we've played. It's a standalone game, but it's certainly sweet, when you finally get the trophy around your neck.
You're going to be a busy man tonight, getting ready for career tomorrow morning?
Mate, that's why I said, right, okay, this is over. Let's get on with the next job now. So it's going to be busy.
Andrew Clark, congratulations on being part of the Central Coast Mariners grand final win.
Thanks a lot.
To believe in just over 48 hours, probably 50 hours from now, they'll be stepping on the field against Suwon up there in South Korea, preparing for an Asian Champions League group stage match.
Yeah, that's quite insane, isn't it? They have to play football so soon. What an apt interview.
So soon, but also in a different hemisphere, in a different continent.
The travel.
12 hours flight away.
12 hours flight, probably another 2 hours by bus. Airport in Seoul, Incheon Airport is quite far away from the centre of Seoul, and Suwon's about another 45 minutes south. So it's going to be an onerous task. I think they'll be numbed by this grand final victory and the celebrations that ensue. I think that flight will go very, very quick. The players are so buoyant, so happy.
As the championship trophy,
Paul McNabb
continues to make its way,
jumping up and down. The physio
over to the tunnel.
The ball steward, isn't he happy?
The kit steward, yes.
The kit steward, Paul McNabb. He's also the masseuse as well. He's another one who's behind the scenes and does so much for the club.
Multitasking.
Absolutely needed.
But still, some of the Mariners players still go around the fence here at the City Football Stadium. Anyone still left down there with you, Luke?
Yeah, I'm going to try and grab Trent Sainsbury if I can.
Oh, Fruit for All, player of the season, of course.
Absolutely.
Trent Sainsbury, Fruit for All, player of the season, now grand final winner. Congratulations on a tremendous performance.
Yeah, mate, I can't describe the feeling I got now after the grand final loss 2 years ago. This really does sum it up for our season, and I really can't thank the boys enough.
The relief going through after Patrick put that first ball in the back of the net, it must have been huge.
Not so much that one, the second one, but when we put the penalty away, we've had trouble with them all year, and when Macca slotted that one, I almost had tears in my eyes.
You got to celebrate with your dad as well out here. He must be a proud man.
Mate, the euphoria I've got right now is unbelievable, and to have my dad and some of my closest friends and family here is it's really unbelievable.
You got a match on Tuesday night. How are you going to get ready for that one?
It's going to be easy, mate. We're going to be running on adrenaline for a couple of weeks, I think.
Trent Sainsbury, congratulations, grand final winner here tonight.
Thanks, pal. Thanks.
There was Trent Sainsbury, the Fruit for All Coast FM player of the season for the Mariners, for the 27 rounds through, and has now got a championship ring to go with it. Is there anyone else down there, Luke?
No, I think I'm very lonesome now, boys.
Okay, well, thank you very much to Luke Byrne down there on the touchline. I hope you enjoyed the post-match interviews that Luke brought you.
Thank you, Trent. Thank you, Michael. What a wonderful season, and what a way to finish. The champions of Australia, the Central Coast Mariners.
They certainly are. We'll take a short break here on Coast FM 963. When we come back, we'll wrap everything up. The Central Coast Mariners 2 have defeated the Western Sydney Wanderers 0.
Blue Tongue Stadium is proud to sponsor the Mariners live call on Coast FM. Join Blue Tongue Stadium on Facebook to find out what's happening, including all their upcoming events and latest news. Check out their website at www.bluetonguestadium.com.au. Blue Tongue Stadium is a proud sponsor of the Mariners live football call on Coast FM.
At half-time, when the Mariners chomp into a big, juicy piece of fruit, it's been supplied by Fruit for All. From day one, they've been supplying the Mariners with only the best variety and quality. And it's the same when you shop at Fruit for All in Tumbie Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. Nick, Tony and Angelo pride themselves on supplying the freshest and finest fruit and veggies, whether it's to restaurants and caterers or to you. Open from 7 every morning, Fruit for All, Tumbie Creek Road, Berkeley Vale. They love their football, but best of all, they love their fruit.
A station sponsor.
When you've been in real estate for over 40 years, you make a lot of contacts, and that's how it is with Rain and Horn Gosford. Every day they're working to find the right buyer for your property. And with a wealth of experience and local knowledge, you're in good hands. Rain and Horn Gosford is family owned by Jeff and Sue Tilden, proud of their many industry awards for customer care. Buying, selling, renting. Call Rain and Horn Real Estate in the centre of Gosford, 4324 7744.
Station sponsor.
We all want our home to be spacious enough that we're comfortable, just big enough that we can live easy. You don't really want a house with 89 bathrooms, 67 lounge rooms, 45 bedrooms, 18 garages, 17 laundries and 22 pantries to get lost in. Imperial Centre is a bit like a home that's just big enough. Over 70 stores, everything you need every day, but not so ridiculously huge that you forgot what you wanted in the first place. Imperial Centre Gosford. Comfortable, easy, friendly, just like home.
A station sponsor.
Welcome back here to the Sydney Football Stadium. The Central Coast Mariners have defeated the West Sydney Wanderers 2-0 in front of 42,102 fans. A packed out Sydney Football Stadium. The majority of the fans unfortunately going home unhappy. The Central Coast Mariners, though, travelling back up the F3 where their fans are at least happy as anyone could be.
Absolutely, all the fans driving home now, all the fans listening on Coast FM. Thank you for all your support during the season. Thank you for all your support of the Mariners. It's really been a year of belief for the Mariners. Players were just in supreme form coming into this game. They had an air of confidence about them. They had a belief they were going to win. We had a belief they were going to win. And it was just such an honour being here tonight. All the heartache, all the pain of the 8 seasons of the A-League competitions, all the pain of losing 3 grand finals, being pipped at the post this season for the premiership. That's all been eroded in a moment. That moment being the final whistle. Referee Green blew that final whistle. All that pain's been erased, which will now be joy. It'll be ecstasy. It'll be celebration for weeks to come.
Didn't see too much of exchange of shirts, did we, at the end of the match, just looking around?
No, I know Joshua Rose wanted Shinjiano's shirt, maybe in the dressing sheds after the game, because Joshua Rose's boy, who's only 5, wanted Shinjiano's shirt, so perhaps after the game there.
Wasn't sure if they had any of the specially embroidered shirts either, like they have in...
They had the embroidered hats, and I think some of the staff had the...
No, I meant the playing strip.
Oh, yes, the playing strips.
In any case, people to thank for this season here on Coast FM 963, of course, major supporters, Blue Tongue Stadium, Fruit for All Berkeley Vale, Rain and Horde Gosford, and the Imperial Centre Gosford. There are major supporters here on the Coast FM, and they allow us to bring you this call each and every week through the A-League season, home and away, Asian Champions League, home and away. It's our sponsors for the A-League and the Asian Champions League, Blue Tongue Stadium, Fruit for All, Berkeley Vale, Rain and Horn Gosford, and the Imperial Centre Gosford. Well, we heard from Luke Byrne. He's on his way back up to help us pack up. Kmet, another season down, our 8th season down. We'll get ready for the 10-year celebrations in not too long here for the A-League, but it's taken 8 seasons for us to call a grand final where the Mariners have won.
We've been part of that pain from the beginning. We've been there giving you the action on Coast FM, our little community club. My big thanks is to Coast FM, to the management and committee of Coast FM for allowing us to bring the Central Coast Mariners to you week in, week out. Thanks to the Central Coast Mariners as well, and the Football Federation of Australia for allowing us the rights to, and the honour of the rights to call on this beautiful team on such a beautiful area of Australia. Just enjoy it. That's all I got to say. Just enjoy it.
So Michael, myself and Luke will return to the airways with the Mariners again on Tuesday night for Asian Champions League. But for the A-League in October, the A-League will return to your airways. But between now and then, you have Asian Champions League to look forward still coming up on Coast FM. Well, in front of 42,102 fans, the Mariners have defeated the West Sydney Wanderers 2-0. Patrick Svonsdyke and Daniel McBreen, the goal scorers. On behalf of Luke Byrne, Michael Kmet and myself, Trent Dickinson, it's good night from a Mariners Championship evening.